Welcome, everyone. We're back. It is GG Millions. It's number 40 of season 2023. Very special guest. A repeat guest also has done some serious damage on the GG Millions. We got Michael Jozoff here. Michael, how are you?
Doing well, Jeff. Doing well. It's going to be a good FT today. A lot of familiar faces to the stream and a lot of friends of mine as well, so it should be fun.
Yeah, you mentioned that. One of your coach as well, which we'll talk about a little later. You can take a look at the resume for our friend here with total online earnings, almost 2 million, some very impressive scores, and been playing some of the highest stakes live as well. We're going to be talking more about his resume and what he has got to offer, as well as the final table, a stacked one. Our biggest, most decorated champion is here again, Artur Mortarizian, who I know you're friends with, 7 titles and some other huge names, multiple winners here. 3 players have won a title before. 1.6 million in the prize pool, another very healthy one, means 160 entrants in the tournament. We do play down to the final table every Sunday. You can see 9th going to get a healthy 46K, 325 up for grabs up top. And again, some of the biggest names in the game, which we're going to take a look at the stacked final table, and very close to call on who is the favorite. Of course, there is a massive stack and a very expensive, I shouldn't say expensive, very experienced player. Vogel saying there he is, 149 big blinds, has double second place. Pretty crazy. No Brazilian today, but we do have, of course, the representation from Austria. A lot of Austrian flags there and some big names with Mark Radoja and your coach there, Alex Panakovs, who is, again, doesn't need introduction. Roman, also been on the show, also taken down the event before, a champion, and had been a guest. We got to get Alex on. Love to have him on. I've mentioned it to him. Be great to get him to be a guest coming up. I'm sure we can get him on, and he is rocking. I'm flattered to see my picture in his avatar today. So I think that's what he's got going there for. He's in the big blind there, starting off there. His card 6-5 suited. We'll see how he plays this hand. Any surprises for you today? Anyone are not familiar with, or do you know most of these guys?
I recognize, I think, everyone at the table's screen name. I don't know a couple of the guys in real life, but I've definitely played with everyone on GG at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
also,
of.
I'm not sure if you want Alex as a guest. I'm not sure if you want Alex as a guest. He can't really speak English, but you know.
I think his skill level is enough to compensate. You know, it's like a hot date when if you got a girl from a different country and you don't really speak the language. I think it's going to be okay. Like everyone will be fine with it. He's talented enough. We can figure it out. But yeah, no, that's definitely a little bit of a problem. He does defend 6-5 suited. He does have 900K. We do need to get our draft in, so I'll let you choose red or black for the next flop. We'll get that underway. Audience will be up for $50 or $100. Got the retweet going out on my Jeff Gross Poker Twitter as well. Chance for $50 cash. As it stands, Vogel saying flats, has a big stack. Do you like the flat, or do you think maybe put some pressure on because of how big of a lead he's got? Do you think that this is standard to just flat, or do you think 3-betting is an option?
Yeah, I think sevens is always going to be the flat here. 3-betting, your hand's kind of too good to use the 3-bet bluff, and you obviously can't 3-bet call it off. So when you have a big stack, you get to play a lot more flats in position. It's pretty natural calling the button. I don't think anybody would do anything else, I think, at this table. So,
yeah, no, I mean, definitely straightforward. Just wondering with the fact of such a big stack and also versus cutoff button could maybe get it. But you're right, it'd be a disaster to 3-bet, get 4-bet, and have to, go to work there. So he does get out of the way, and a player on the left does take it down. You said red or black? I'm sorry. You got the color picked out?
Let's go red. I'll take red.
You got red, I got black. We're gonna play. Me and you are gonna have a dinner wager. Nice, good dinner, not a fast food. We'll go for a nice dinner on the line, and the audience will be either $100 if one of my players wins, or $50 if one of yours win. As we do continue to pick up the action there, and it is a defend with ace-8 suited, 9s in the lead. Pretty good flop for 9s, 1 over. See how he goes about this. What's that flag there? Let's take a look at our notes for the country.
It's gonna be Montenegro, I think.
Yes, that is right. Mendez, which we don't really have much info on this player, although it does go check back. Interesting. Vogel saying who has a big stack. I think there's some mixed strategy on these boards where he could bet or check. He's shown some pot control, some discipline, but also has built up a really nice stack. And this is black, right? You chose.
I said red, so you win, so you get the first pick. I think I know who you're going to pick.
All right. Yeah, this isn't going to be too hard. I will go with Vogel saying I gotta just do it. There's no other option.
Okay, so I'll go. So I get 2 now, right?
You get 2 picks. Yep.
All right, I'll cheat a little bit, and I'll go with our Montenegro friend because he's about to win this hand. And then I got to take Alex, guys. So I mean, got to take him, even though there's a couple guys with more chips in him, but he usually finds a way. So
wow, you're sacrificing chips for your coach and a very talented player. I thought I was going to catch him on the second. Of course, I can't give up the 5 million
can't do it.
Stack for that, but like you really did. You took my next pick. I was going to give up some chips. I'm a sucker for chips. I've seen these too many times, and I just think that I'm going to have to go with the. Let's see. I'm just making sure I'm not overlooking. You got, Mondesiv, and I'm going to take Austrian guy with the URJH19. That'll be my next pick.
You get 2 or 1.
Now it's one all the way through.
Okay. Then I got to go. I'll go with Radoja here.
Which one?
Mark Radoja or Radoja. I'm not sure you say his last name.
Yep. That feels personal. He beat me heads up for a bracelet. That was my closest chance. So that's fine. I like to be against him. Little revenge here. So, all right, you got Radoja, and man, I guess, I'm going to go Roman. I'm going to skip to Roman. He's also won an event here. He's one of the only 3 players here that have taken down a title. He's also been a guest on the show. Very nice guy. And I'm going to go with my man, Roman.
Okay, I'd love to pick Arthur because obviously his track record at Super Millions is so insane. But I think the 3-1 chip deficit's too much to overcome. So I got to take Marcos, and that leaves you with, or actually that leaves you with Arthur, and then that leaves me with Dombrowski. Unless you can take Dombrowski now.
And I'll take Arthur. Yeah, I got Arthur, and then we'll give you the guy who's in pretty good shape. He's in pretty good shape right now at the set of 7s versus needs some runners. That is not one. I think is that lots of hammerlock, right? He's got a triple.
That's a hammerlock. Yeah.
He's in good shape. Potential side pot, although it's unlikely with this action, this board, and this situation.
A10 doesn't really beat too many hands, but bluffing into a dry pot here doesn't really make that much sense. And now Ace-10 beats almost exactly no hands. I think, unless it's like some 8 suited or something that Marcos would have, but yeah.
That is certainly running hot. That is a well used emoji. And back in the game, no players out. Arthur on the short stack tied basically there now as he is still in the game. And again, players Panakovs and Arthur, you just can't really bet against. Vogel saying picks up 10s. He's got command of this table. He has got absolute command. He's in good shape, and he is up and running with 5.7. That's one of the bigger leads we've seen in the millions. Pretty interesting distribution today. Pretty big lead for him.
Yeah, GGMillion's payouts are they're quite a bit flatter than live payouts are, which means there's more and more ICM pressure. So being the chip leader at these, when each ladder matters more, that's really nice, right? So Vogel saying is going to be able to put a lot of pressure, and he's definitely going to win this tournament a lot of the time. I'm curious because now on the GG client, they have the final table betting thing where you can bet on individual players before the FT starts. And I want to know what his odds were before this started.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. I mean, there's you can bet on anything these days. There's so much action. Obviously, the Super Bowl was a crazy finish on that game. I don't know if you had action, but that was one of the.
I had a lot of action on the Super Bowl. Yeah.
How did the ending work out for you? Because it did look like a lock on the under, and then depending what you had, there it was. And
I had a bunch of player props. So I had a futures bet on the Niners to win the Super Bowl that I made it for. So that was like most of my exposure on the Niners, and then I bet a few more thousand on them. But then at halftime, when they were up 10-3, I hedged quite a bit because I was getting cheap plus 250. So I ended up just covering my bases, and then it ended up okay. It would have been better if the Niners pulled it out for me, but I hedged enough to where I ended up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. It looked like the under was going to be an under for sure. And then again, different lines, 46.5, 47, whatever. Pretty crazy finish there, and a lot of argument about should have taken the ball first or second, and if should go for it where they did. But yeah, that's a whole nother discussion today. we're going to dive into the poker analysis, not the Super Bowl analysis, which was pretty interesting. And here, a nice spot with kings as Labdov has got a decision on sizing.
Yeah, so first of all, 9-7 suited is a bit of a loose open here from the hijack. I mean, obviously after Vogel saying folds, he becomes kind of the chip leader, although the button, the URJ guy, basically has the same stack as him. I mean, 9-7 suited is definitely quite a loose open, I would say, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily bad or something. I mean, there's definitely dynamics where maybe you want to open stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, also everyone's aware of that, though. The chip leader kind of bows out, and then he's got a big stack and open light, and that's kind of a spot where obviously king's a slam dunk 3-bet, going to be in a good spot, but there's definitely some hands, lighter hands you could see if he's going to attack as 9-10 suited, Jack 9. You see the 9-10 suited for Radoja is in position, although not a great flop. Neither player having much here. Vogel saying a little more interested. Maybe he's got the 2 overs, some back doors, and a spade. He could get a little bit creative with definitely a player that's willing to step out a bit, and he's even going to come out leading.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So I was about to say, so these are boards. So basically in Chippy V, like 7-4 deuce, you would never play any leads on the board. But in ICM, when you have a huge chip lead, it basically just widens your playbook. So you add, 50 more pages to the playbook when you're the super chip leader at the FT, and it allows you to start playing leads on boards where you never would have in Chip EV, or if you weren't the chip leader. It allows you to just play a whole bunch of different, a world of different options. So that's kind of cool to see Vogel saying, get it done there, Jack 9.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I mean, again, the guy knows what he's doing. He's got 6 million. He is crushing right now, and he is definitely, again, showing not just blind aggression. We've seen him some checkbacks. We've seen him just flatting. We've seen him, even the ace-8 suited was allowed to hit the river when he had 9s in a spot where maybe could have bet the flop or turn. So, again, there's a fine line between blind aggression and understanding the situation and picking up pots in various creative ways. So really, again, one of the world-class players, plays the highest stakes tournaments in the world. The guy you may know puts the kind of zips up, that gets some bit of flack for the hoodie game and how he covers the neck and stuff, but definitely knows his way around high stakes poker and is a absolute monster. Let's see if he can finish this out with this type of lead. Again, Roman, great player on his direct left. Pretty tough seat for Vogel saying, although he's super out chips these guys at the moment, the 3 players, maybe the most experienced. Also your GG Million champions are on his direct 3 spots to the left, but don't have a lot of chips. So not too much they can give him trouble with at the moment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a tweet out. I'm going to cue that up as well. We'll get that in a little bit. You guys can just go to my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker, and have a $50 cash opportunity. We see Michael Jozoff is the picture in there. You can retweet that and follow along. And a couple nice looking hands here. Some suited broadways, ace king, actually 3 suited broadways and ace king. Although based on the spots, right, should things get tidied up here. I think ace king gonna come in for a healthy raise, knock out some other players, and then jack 10 suited depending on the size. Kind of a tough stack for Radoja though, right? He's got a middling stack. There's 3 or 4 very short stacks, so he's not really looking to tango, play a big pot, potentially get knocked out or play a huge pot when he is behind. But again, so it's a close hand. It's a really nice starting hand.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Jack 10 is sort of a marginal open to begin with in this spot. Just you have Vogel saying 2 on your left. You're opening from the under the gun 2, and it's a nice fold to the 3-bet there, Jack and suited. Yeah, you just don't want to play too many calls. You're not doing well. You're behind his 3-bet bluffs. He's going to bet it bluffing ace jack off. I like to see him fold. I don't mind the open at all. I think some of the tighter players would have just chosen to open muck there. A lot of guys would open too, but you do get 3-bet, you have to fold.
All right, King 7. Roman, look at this, getting a little creative. I mean, this is sort of what we talk about, sort of the old school of thought, all in on these stack sizes. But now there's the sort of bluff hands, if you will, to be balanced. You don't just have kings, aces, ace, king suited, queens. So he does open the King 7 suited. Doesn't work out, but oftentimes that will be a spot where he has a chance to chip up or look stronger than he maybe is. So unfortunate and pretty short these guys are all of a sudden. At the blinds 20K 40K, we see Artur under 10 blinds, Roman hovering there, and your coach Alex gets a nice hand, ace king. Interesting though, he still actually has 20 bigs, right? He's got 21 and a half bigs. He can still play.
Yeah. So this is a spot I think Alex can go either way. You can just play a shove here if you want. You can also go for a 3-bet call. Ace King off is one that solver usually likes to just shove, but in this spot against a chip leader when he's open such a wide range, and he's going to have to find a lot more shoves. Okay, so he does end up going for basically a shove, which just like puts in half the stack.
Now, tell me a bit about the 440 half stack there versus all in, and why 440 not 380 or 470? Because basically, my understanding makes sense. If there's like an all in, you could fold, but why does it really matter if it's half exactly or 40% when you kind of make
it's not. I mean, no, it's not. There's no like specific science to it being like 52% as opposed to 56 or something like that. It's just basically like you want to put in the least amount of chips that still commits you to calling the first guy's all in, if that makes sense. That way, if you do get crazy all in thing, you can fold and still keep as much of your stack as possible. But you have to commit enough where you are against the first guy who can get effectively a jam.
Yeah, been some decent hands. No one's gone out yet. 8 left. We did see an all-in and a double, or I guess a triple, a short stack 7s, all-in versus 6s, and ace-10 off, as that player is still in. And pretty, again, unique with this very short stacks right now. 8s will surf it in. And ace-jack suited. Vogel saying in the big blind. I mean, this is pretty close, but...
No, this is a 9 big blinds. This should be a call here, and I guess I got to root for. Oh wait, I have Marcos, right? It's not a good start for me.
Yeah, you want.
Why would I ever bet against Arthur at Super Millions?
For sure, Arthur. Can he get going? Can he get unhinged here? He cannot. Ooh. I just was gonna say how well he runs, although he is the all-time leading GGMillion champion. And when I say runs well, I mean plays world class, lights out, one of the greatest to ever do it. And he is young and experienced, and he will not be getting his 8th title. He will go out in 9th, and a relief to the table for a pay jump, and not to see him get some ammo and artillery as he is out of there. Nice win for our Latvian friend, as we are 8-handed, and Radoja going to get an open through here. A couple short stacks. Very happy to see this game. I saw the Nick Schulman tweet. We were talking about it in the debate about, Jonathan Little sweating in the poker go thing and this, and it's true. It's like kind of a funny debate. Everyone is in the tournament. You always are rooting for people to get knocked out, almost always, unless you have a big sweat or it's one of your best friends, right? But it's like, it's kind of a funny thing, the anti-sweat versus sweat. What's your take on that? And what do you do in like a big bubble and all that? Like, how do you sort of, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I think when you're on a big bubble, I think it's pretty clear that everyone's rooting for, most people, like usually the chip leaders aren't, but most of the field's rooting for the bubble to burst. And it's weird when, it's one of your friends. That's when it's weird, right? Because I think otherwise it's pretty understood you're rooting for the bubble to burst. But when it's one of your friends and you're like, your EV is so happy to see them die, essentially, but, you don't want to show it too much because you don't want to be,
Yeah, so. I have one in particular, a pretty funny one that, I've been playing a lot of, I got the 2 young kids and I love doing the show. I play a bit, but it was like 20, it was a while ago, maybe 17 or 18. It was the 100K one drop, and it was a break, and 19 cashed, I think. And there was 21 left, and me and my two of my best friends were 21, 20, and 19. It was like, I had like 8 blinds, Antonio Esfandiari had like 6 blinds, and Charles Hook had like 5 blinds or something like that, or maybe whatever. And we were all like right there. We kind of knew one of us, we at least one of us was going to cash. Hopefully we all would. Maybe one would be out. But I remember like Antonio was all in jacks to aces, river to jack. And like, I was like, oh, that's great, But like, I'm like, all right, now I'm sure. Yeah. And it's just like, it's kind of like, it's a big bubble. It's very intense and it's stressful, but we ended up all cashing and made a couple, whatever. But it is true. Like there's a friendship, but look, between me and my buddy, I'm sorry, I want to get I do want to cash, I don't want to bubble, and especially
exactly.
Big, and it's definitely intense. But that I'm sure you've had and you play a lot of live now. You've seen you're in a lot of spots where it's like, you want to see that bubble burst, and it's when you're on the chopping block, it's not fun.
Yeah, for sure. We could sit here and talk about bubble stories all day, but then the stream would end. So
yeah, it's here. The good news: everyone in the money, and there is pay jumps, but it's not. Yeah. It is, again, big difference. No deal making at this as well, as we see the Jack 10 suited, making a nice bet here with a hand that he can expect not to be good. Going to be some mid pairs, maybe fold out some king queen suited or hand like this, ace jack, ace 10. Vogel saying for the sizing, trying to understand what the player is representing. Is it protection? Is it a bluff? And he's also shown that he's comfortable with this chip lead and not taking super high variance spots. So let's see what he does here. This is probably like dead on the cusp, right, of what he thinks, but more so the river being a problem there.
I think I don't know. The way I perceive that size, it's like you're betting into the chip leader, and in general, the SPR here is kind of low enough to where you're not that much at risk of getting like stacked or something. But more so, it's just if he wants to bet a size that can accommodate pulling pairs, like if he has sevens or something like that, I'm not sure he would go full pot sevens, or at least I don't know if sevens are worth full pot. And hold on, we're going to see an all in here.
Yep.
So
yeah, ace
I would
five.
have chosen
Calling it off and needs runner real quick as we'll revisit that spot. Not going to be 6-9 suited shoves, ace 5 off calling. I mean, again, a couple other short stacks, but how many better spots are you going to get? Before we revisit that very interesting Jack 10 diamonds pot size bet, what are your thoughts on, like, in this particular spot, ace 5 off, where's your cutoff for calling blind on blind there with this sort of other stack sizes?
How many bigs is that? Like 8 bigs?
Yeah.
Something like that. If it's 8 bigs, I didn't see exactly how many chips it was. If it's 8 bigs, like I would say, ace 5 off is a call. It's pretty close to. I don't know if I would call ace deuce off in this exact tournament. I think live tournaments where they're really top heavy, where you can just call any ace in that stuff. But when Roman is kind of short too, I would probably call something like ace 4 off, ace deuce suited, and then various other stuff.
Yeah, and 2 flags of interest here. 2 tough players, and 9's going to say too much hand for this 8 blinds. Going to call, still covers, 9's in the lead. Big moment here for everyone, as we are going to see a flip, ace king needed, or a queen now, or else we'll see a knockout and a big swing for our dinner bet. The audience 50 or 100 paint, big card, maybe doesn't look like it. That is going to be clean. And your coach, who you picked when he was not that high up in the rankings, one of your early picks, is going to knock out Roman. So again, now there's only one GG Million champion remaining. So we will have a new GG Millions champion, or Panakovs would come from the back of the pack and get another title. And he is in a good spot now with direct left on the chip leader, as we are down to, what is that? Already 6-handed, right? 3 players have been knocked out in the first 25 minutes.
Yep. Start. That's why he's my coach, trying to get the all-in coaching too. That's a very underrated part of the game. You got to win your all-in. Interesting spot here for Radoja with the king queen off.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a slam dunk 4-bet, but again, Vogel saying how he's perceived, understanding his chip leader, that he does going to have some bluffs. King queen is sort of high up in the range, but also just from a ICM perspective, he's one of the shorter stacks now. He's tied, I think, for the shortest, so his risk premium not that high. I don't know. This is a lot of back and forth, right? Like, I think he just ultimately nice jam there. Nice, not a.
Yeah, I think I mean, the risk premium exists, and it's definitely not as high as it was when there were a couple of like micro stacks around before those last couple eliminations. But yeah, when you open king queen off and you're getting 3-bet by what's perceived to be quite a wide range. Especially button versus big blind, it's 2 relatively wide ranges. King queen off definitely has to take an aggressive action there somehow.
Yeah, that's nice play. Keeps him in the game. Let's talk about the Jack 10. You were saying about what he's representing and the size, and how you would perceive Vogel saying if you were him.
Yeah, I was just saying if I was Vogel saying, I would say to myself that if he wants to be betting a hand like 7s for protection, he would choose a different size. So when he goes full pot on the turn, on the 9-9 board, right? Then you're repping like a large overpair that Vogel's making. So you're repping probably like jacks plus, I would say, when you do that, which is fine to do. It's just you're sort of playing a different strategy. Here's an interesting spot where Alex goes for the check raise, and he's going to be up against the nut flush draw here.
Yeah, I mean, both players with a big part of the board. I mean, nut draws in terms of nut straight on 7-8 ace, but two clubs. I mean, the king three clubs nut flush draw as he does make the nuts, and Panakov's now is it could have been worse, right? Could have hit the 6 or jack of clubs, but as it stands,
Yeah.
he has 10 high, and maybe there's a chance he wants to try to represent something here and put a lot of hands that don't have a flush in question, although he doesn't have a club and he is going to check.
I was going to say, without a club, I'd like to see him check a lot. Sometimes you have to have some barrels that don't have a club in them. So I think going for a high frequency check here and occasionally betting is good. And unfortunately here he should. It's actually an interesting spot. You probably could go for a small bet here, as I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Let's call him SM.
Yeah, just bringing him over. Yeah, SM's good. SM or Madenzev, but we'll call him Madman.
Probably
Mad with the nuts.
Probably like Madonzio. Madonzio
sounds good. Like sounds official. I don't know if we're going to get corrected there. Montenegro, one of the most beautiful countries in the world, where actually one of the best Triton stops is at, and I think that we'll revisit this year most likely. I don't think it's officially confirmed. I know that was being talked about, so that is definitely some place to put on the radar. Have you been to Montenegro? Kind of an obscure one. I don't think many people have.
No, I've never been to Montenegro, but I also heard that about Triton, and it's supposed to be in May, right? At least people are saying. So I think I probably will be there if that does end up happening.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those ones you don't really want to miss, as we see king queen off go upstairs and a6 going to fold. 3.3 million now over there, and 2.8. Everyone fairly healthy, a little bit deeper now. Only two shorter stacks at 50K big blind. Still plenty of play for Panakovs, as we see the ace-5 defend, king queen off, no diamond, 10-10-7. Vogel saying with 5 million here. See what he wants to do.
Yeah, like when you have this much of a chip lead, you just get to bet for a small size at so much higher of a frequency. Because it's not like Chippy V where you just have to worry about getting check raised and barreled off all the time. You just can't. It doesn't really work like that in ICM.
Check.
Although it's happening right now. This is a pretty wild combo to check raise with. Ace-5, pretty much no backdoors and no diamond. So it's just the pure going for it check raise, I would say.
Yeah. Queens on the button. Second premium in this position. Aces before. No one having anything to combat with, as just going to pick up. Sometimes at final tables, don't mind just picking up pots, though. 3.5 million. Healthy seconds right now. Vogel saying 6-7 suited, going to go to work under the gun. And a couple of marginal hands in the small blind and big blind. I mean, this is one of those kind of tough ones where, you know, you'd like to get in there, but
yeah, I'd like to see it fold. I think out of position, you know, you're not trying to play too many folds. Okay, decides to call. You know, he's sort of getting deep enough to where set mining starts to look a little bit okay again, but I mean, actually, I'm looking at he's 50. He's like 32 big. Yeah, 32 bigs. You maybe. Wow. Well, there's the set right there. So sometimes
this
it works
is
out.
Very interesting, because flopping a set is very hard, as we know, about 8.5 to 1 in that range, and 6-7 suited flops top pair and two backdoor flush and straight. So very interesting board here, and this is one where Radoja, who flats out of the small, though, he's really going to be kind of polarized to the pairs or suited Broadway is sort of what it looks like in my mind, right? That's generally
right. But if I was Vogel saying, I wouldn't even. It's an interesting turn card there as well. But if I was Vogel saying, I wouldn't necessarily expect him to have deuces or fours in his flatting range. Turns out he does have fours. I'm pretty confident he would never have deuces. So your hand starts to look a lot better here.
Right, you block sevens.
Sets.
Block sevens,
yeah,
so it's kind of like fours, and fours are even questionable. So then it's like kind of get down to, wow, you start looking at more of sort of suited Broadway type hands maybe, or other pairs, right? Sixes or something like that. But now he hits the backdoor spades. Fours has to feel pretty good. A hand like Jack 10 might keep betting, right? So I don't know. Like there's now the backdoor flush. Also, if you don't have a pair, backdoor flush may be betting the turn if you don't have anything else with it. So this is going to be.
Well, yeah, this is yeah. Well, that's a good point, Jeff, because I think a lot of the time when you do turn backdoor spades, you definitely barrel a lot, and he has one of those combos where he does have showdown value with 7, so he's just choosing to check back, protect his equity, take it to the river. But I don't think Vogel saying is going to get that much credit for checking back that many spade combos, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna rip it in here. I mean, the thing is, like, calling just seems crazy. I mean, he could obviously, at the same token, what does he get called by? Like, I mean, I guess the set, like, could have hit 8s or 9s, right? Like, yeah. So I think you just rip it in, and Radoja is gonna not like this. And then I think just start thinking though exactly this: what does he bet flop check back turn that now enjoys the river so much? So
right. So we can sort of agree that he's probably beating no value. I think maybe Vogelsang could have deuces opening really wide because he's the cheater. I don't know why he would ever check back deuces on the turn, though. So I think as played, he beats no value. It's going to be Jack 10 plus, I would say, or maybe some slow played set of 9s or something like that.
But that's my point, why it's so complicated, because you would think Jack 10 would probably shell off and you could start putting people on mid pairs or a flush draw that then you want to like bluff off on the river even, or 3 barrel might be a good hint candidate, Jack 10. So like, yeah, I just start think this is super complicated. And really that, like, I think there's not a lot of combination of hands where you bet flop, check back turn and have a flush. That's the problem. It's literally like, I don't know, like that, something 7 X of spades or 4X of spades. You block 4s, you have the 4 of spades. Like, it's weird hand, very weird, interesting hand.
Yeah, it's like like you said, yeah, most of his value combos on the river would have taken a different line before the river. So really to get away from this one here, especially against Vogel, who is the chip leader and also with a pretty aggressive reputation, I would say. A lot of people sort of would look at Vogelsang and see such a nice guy, such a friendly guy, soft-spoken, but he's an animal at the table, you know. So,
well, this is also his
good fold.
You know, yeah, good, interesting chess clock. Radoja use some. You see every player with numbers in front there. That clock ticks. Everyone gets 15 minutes, and then kind of cool because people I think play faster generally. And then if you have decisions, you use some of the clocks. So there was some use. Most players still healthy clock, as you see 9 minutes for Panakovs and all the way around 8 to 10 minutes in thinking there. So pretty good fold. I mean, pretty interesting hand. The flat 4s, very unlucky on that top pair to get runner. As we did mention, Vogelsang did have both backdoor options, straight and flush, and he did connect on the flush. So high level fold there for Radoja. I mean, played it very passively.
For sure.
Check call, check fold. I mean, pretty impressive. Fold, most people are going to lose their stack there, and rightfully so. Interesting too, if he had bet the turn with that draw heavy of a board, you know, he might have got check raised all in or check raised big. So that was pretty crafty by Vogelsang as well to recognize showdown value, sort of pot control, and then also get deception and get the. I'm sorry, and the river was bet fold, not check fold, but. Bet, and then got raised all in and got rid of it here as 7-8. Very nice flop for the big blind when you have open-ended on a 5-6-3 board, as ace-9 going to keep attacking here.
Yeah, so he's just getting barreled into by a hand. He's just trying to, and so this is what I was going to say, where he can go for the check raise here, and then he has a really good candidate to blast the river with. Now, ace-9, obviously, what are you going to do against a check raise when you bluff the turn? But, I mean, if he continues here, this would be truly wild poker. But funnier things have happened, I guess.
Right. You're just like, what are you looking for on the river? You have no way to improve really to feel good. You're just purely thinking he's bluffing. And if he's semi-bluffing with diamonds or 7-8 or 4X, there's like so many rivers that are just, you're literally just like scratching your head. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff there. Our friend here has been aggressive though. You are JH19. Been showing us some moxie as we've got players playing for the win. And always, again, we welcome everyone. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up. That is the first part of the giveaway. Over 600 have tuned in thus far. We got Michael Jozoff in the building, heading over to Paris, looking for a EPT title. He's been traveling. Any other plans? You're going to play a full World Series? I know you've been battling Poker Go. What's on your schedule coming up?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm doing an EPT and then I'm Triton in Korea. It's gonna be my first Triton. I'm sort of have like this. I have this like extended live trip planned where I'm gonna be mostly out of the U.S. So Paris, Korea. Then there's the WPT Korea, which is also at the same venue as Triton in Jeju. And then there's like another EPT maybe in Monte Carlo. We talked about maybe there's going to be another Triton in Montenegro. So I'm basically planned for Paris and Korea, and then after that we'll sort of see what happens. But should be fun.
Very, very nice. Traveling's fun. You're how old again? 20? You're in your 20s? Like
24.
24, man. So that's the dream. That's the time. That's when I remember roaming around and not a care in the world, stop to stop, and then enjoy. Like I said, you get the kids, the wife,
Yeah,
all that stuff. It's a little harder to do all that, but you're young. You are young and firing. And again, in the audience, a lot of viewers out there living the poker dream. This is definitely one of them, to play 10K online GG Millions, which we have the privilege of calling a very fun event. And you play how often? How many GG Millions have you played? I mean, I know you've had some final tables, obviously done commentary a few times now.
yeah. I play. I haven't been playing online the past couple of weeks. Like last Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. Nowadays, I'll probably play 1 or 2 bullets whenever I play online on Sundays. So last year I didn't play every week. I didn't play most of them last year. I played the bigger ones, like when they would be like the 10K 5 million and 10K 10 guarantee. I play those. And this year I'm sort of moving up a little bit, so I'm sort of in there every week. I'm playing online now, but I've played the last couple weeks.
Yeah. It's and what are your thoughts on the current? You would you say if you had to choose, you prefer on a given day, say a 10K live or online? I mean, obviously this is a very tough fields on here, but if a day of grinding online versus a similar comparable calibration live, what's your choice?
I think I enjoy playing online poker more from just the experience of playing poker, but I enjoy live because you get to do the travel, hang out with friends, go out to the dinners, the social aspect of it. Because when you're grinding online, it can be, you can be stuck in your house a little bit too much, and so it's a little bit monotonous. So I kind of think the balance of both is right for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good mix too. It's always nice to have the option on, kind of being in a place where you can do both. And then if you get knocked out or you want to hop in and fire, it's good. It's a good way to practice and learn. And also you get more reps in, but live is something special about live poker. Just getting the people,
Sure.
getting the chips and getting deep in a live tournament. There's not much like it. King, Queen, Jack, 9. Our friend has got a little bit of a I don't want to say
this guy's still blasting,
but he's speeding a lot.
Yeah, he's given up on the river here without the diamond. I mean, I think he's had just completely zero equity hands like the last 3 times he was firing post flop. So we'll see. That's your guy. I mean, hey, listen, that style is very conducive when in tournament. It's like a first or ninth type of deal. So the fact that you can probably bodes well for you.
Yeah.
So here we should just see the pretty. He goes for the call instead of the jam. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, again, Mark, you saw him proceed with precision after the flop with a set of 4. So I think one of those guys too. He's also a heads-up specialist. Kind of really believes in his game and wants to maybe take down variance in general.
Sure.
So this is again.
Fair enough.
Work against you though. There still are obviously certain times in hand and selections that just better played. Because of runouts or board situations. So again, I'm not questioning.
Yeah, this one, for example. Yeah. Like this one, for example, like, he's opening a very wide range. Like once it folds to him on the button, he 2x covers the small, or not 2x, but he's got 50% more chips in the small blind and 3x more chips in the big blind. He's going to be opening probably like 50+%. So when you have ace-3 suited there, it's like a very nice jam. Just achieved so many folds, and you even allowed a hand like ace-6 off, which is what he was actually up against, which is a better. So.
Yeah, 3-6 suited. Very nice hand for a cracker to snap off some big hands such as this. Does flop a gut shot and backdoor spades. Also, some cards he could get creative and bluff with, right? He could rep some 6-7s or such here if some runouts do transpire. But as it stands, just calls, doesn't get the backdoor spade opportunity now. Looks a little bit lighter when he doesn't check raise. Just calls. Check raise wouldn't have done very much for him though, as he would have ran into queens, and this would have been not a nice turn. Although here, probably going to be able to get away. For just that. Although I don't know. Let's see what sizing comes with here. Queens feel pretty good. You're in good shape against many hands.
Yep. I mean, again, big blind defend range. He's got lots of hands that he's trying to extract value from. Those 5-4s, 8-6s, 8-7s, stuff like that. And the jack is sort of a good card for SM's range, but sort of a bad card for his exact holding because he's going to be bluffing with a lot of jack X. So he's going to with top pair there, and I think the big blind's going to fold a lot of those hands that he's trying to extract value from.
Yeah, really nice pickup there for, we'll call him our friend Mad from Montenegro. Montenegro Mad is on his way. 3.8 million, sitting nice. Vogel saying over 6 million now, really showing us some different gears to his game as he has provided a nice start for everyone involved. 6 left, sitting very healthy, 6 million. And Panakov's got a little bit going, won a flip at $1 million flat. He is tied effectively with Radoja, ace-9, queen-5, ace-9 in the lead here. Tough to play these against the chip leader, kind of middling hands. You don't want to be weak and get blown off, but you also don't want to get abused. And this check back is going to allow the 3 outs to come home. Of course, backdoor hearts or straights possible too, but the queen arrives right away. And definitely not a card Radoja is going to like to see. Happens to his opponent, going to bring more draws and more trouble. And this is definitely not good. Now he's going to bet though, maybe kind of check in with where he's at, dictate a river size situation that doesn't allow him to make a big guess potentially. So let's see how Vogel's saying comes with here. Call makes sense. And wow, well, good river there for Radoja.
So here you definitely have to go for value. And then if you're Vogel saying, you probably have just a decision. I mean, I would say you probably have a decision between call and fold. He would basically need to be bluffing hands like sort of middling pocket pairs and stuff like that now, like 7s or so. Most of the time, though, when he's bluffing the turn, he is going to have an ace in his range. And usually just back, unless he has 2 pair plus. We could see that he went for a thin value bet on the turn with ace-9 and improved. So it's definitely an interesting spot. That queen of hearts might speak to Vogel saying a little bit.
Yeah, it's also though Radoja doesn't look like he has any fold equity. So does turning your hand into a bluff, does that, I mean, Radoja is a guy that does value tournament life, does respect, he does call though. I guess, yeah, just thinking he blocks the flush. He doesn't think he's maybe going to bet too many draws. So an interesting play, and Radoja does suss out value there with the nice hand. Very interesting.
It's a little bit of an ambitious call from Vogel, but obviously don't hate it or anything. It just needs, for that call to be good, Radoja just needs to take a lot of combos and start bluffing them on turn and continue to barrel them on the river. So.
All right, couple modest hands. A7 off, going to fold the cutoff. Interesting. Got the sort of 20 blind jam stack from Panakov's. Also, Vogel saying chip leader. What do you think of that A7 fold there, though, on the cutoff with his stack?
Yeah, I just think it's just a function of mostly Vogel just being on his direct left with a gigantic chip lead. And also, he's the opening into a big blind that has 50% more chip than him or so. Or even more, actually. Or like almost double.
Yeah, so Panakov's going to limp in king queen, pretty strong, of course. Small blind, big blind, 6-handed here, but going to get out flop. Let's see if he starts telling the story. Just checks, realizing too his opponent's going to have some airball raises, so maybe looks like a little more of a middling hand. He doesn't want to raise, get blown off of, and does get out flopped here. King queen now not in the lead. Let's see If the Montenegro madman, we call him, is going to go for a small bet or just check back, and checks into a very welcoming 2-pair now. King Queen has 0% and 2-pair for Mad. And Panikov saw this maybe going a little differently. Flopping stronger, flopping top pair, flopping, 3 diamonds, 3 spades, something that this is just like a complete whiff and now in no man's land. Although his opponent's super strong here, going to be able to just get out of the way here. He's drawing dead to 6-7, 2 pairs. There are a few draws, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very small bet. I guess compared, it's a little check. Just get out of the way. I mean, King Queen. Anything else there, or pretty standard? Just going to be wanting to limp pretty much full range.
Yeah, I think it's worth considering calling just because of how few chips have gone in. It goes limp check pre or near the top of your limping range with King Queen, or near the top of any range just when it's blind in the spot, and then goes check on the flop, and he's probably not bluffing king high and maybe not even queen high all that often. So he kind of unblock bluffs with king queen, but just kind of the realization, like you said, that you're drawing dead to a lot of combos that are strong, which he was in real life, and also you just can't really improve to anything that attractive. Best case scenario, second pair.
Ace King suited 9s. Big hands for the situation. We are seeing Ace King suited. Just, it's so nice to get, and when you just completely miss, no backdoor even available, it starts getting dicey, and you just, the problem is you're beating a lot of hands still. Deuce, 7, all the broadways you're ahead of.
Vogel saying goes for the cheeky check back with 9s. This board 9s is like one of the first combo ones that just for logical reasons. There's a lot of overcards. It wants to achieve value, achieve protection, all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of nice, and that's see because of that. He's like, oh, okay. I'm not going to be up against 8s, 9s, 10s as much here, 6s, stuff like that. So Ace King, we're just going to go for a thin value bet, try to extract from, Ace Jacks, Ace Queens, stuff like that. And now you're chopping with those. Vogelsang has a real underwrapped hand here, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite a run out for the 9s. Of course, flushes lose too. He has a heart, though. And now realizing against like ace highs, he's doing phenomenally. So let's see what he comes up with here. Pretty sure he's going to assert he's got the best hand. Does lose to flushes, 10s plus. I think still is going to go.
Yeah, and you don't expect a hand like, queens to ever just check the river here, because Vogel's going to have ace high a lot. And so I think those types of hands like 10s, jacks, queens would always bet. You're not too worried about those. You're more worried about like super slow plays, I guess, like most flushes. But for the most part, Vogel's feeling really confident about his hand. And now if you're Marcos, you got to be thinking, is there a world where he's got ace jack and try to take me off a chop, stuff like that. It's just a really gross situation here. But good fold.
Yeah, this is a nice fold there. Ace King suited definitely could get curious and does get out of the way. Ace 8 suited now going to go ahead and 3-bet, guys, showing understanding of situations. And again, good pickup there. I'd say playing very well. Interesting. A lot of notes. Again, people ask, how can they improve? What takeaways? Of course, it's fun to watch some of the best players in the world. It's also interesting to see hands that you would play differently or unsure about. Generally speaking, these players, there's a reason. They know what they're doing. It's always different. That's what's cool about poker and final tables. Different stack sizes, different implications, different ICM considerations, different position at the table you're seated to different, various stacks. So it's important to look at and understand. You can't just say, oh, I did this guy did that here, do this in that spot. So it's if you're unsure about something or something doesn't register, it's good to make a note, take a clip, send the board texture, ask a friend, take a screenshot. Those are good ways to improve and learn and grow in the game. Because again, Vogel saying Panakov's Radoja for sure, and then some of these other guys are playing a 10K buy-in, probably pretty good. Maybe they satellite in, but they seem to be playing well. Everyone, and definitely some of the best players in the world that are pretty astute on what they're doing. They know what they have a good understanding of the game. Not everyone plays perfectly. That's the good news. But generally, the players have good reason for what they're doing. And if you're not sure why, you should ask questions to some of your peers or us. We got the chat up. We're looking around, see what's going on. Try to work through this. It's always interesting. And 10-7, a nice little blocker bet here. The best hand.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to get value from exactly like king queen hands. They're just getting such a good price to call. People do bluff in this size, of course. A lot of times, like lower stakes, guys, oh, it's so milky, he always has it here and stuff. But a lot of people love to bluff in these sizes and just sort of play those mind games.
Wow.
And that's the other way to do it. So yeah, you're trying to go for thin value with a weak type of holding, and here we go. Good luck.
Yeah, want to remind everyone the tweet is out. You guys can retweet that. Jeff Gross Poker Pin tweet, $50 cash giveaway. And we also have the thumbs up here. If you hit that, you'll be eligible at the end. We'll have a keyword and a chance for $50 or $100, depending on who wins one of Michael's players or mine. We'll remind you who that is. But either way, you're going to want to enter and be in for that opportunity at the end of the stream today. So yeah, so far pretty much two emerging big stacks, everyone else in it, but Vogel Sang and our Montenegro man are your 1 and 2 stack, as URJ still healthy as well. Going to open the ace 9 suited over 2 million, and queen 5 fold. What type of versus this under the gun when you're mad here? What do you like to defend, or what's your cutoff for defending in this particular spot? Just sub yourself in for.
Yeah, so in these spots, the offsuit ones like the queen 5 off, even as high up as something like queen 8 off. I mean, it's a little bit different here because SM covers URJ. So when he 2x covers, he gets to defend wider. If the stacks were reversed, you might be folding as high up as like queen 9 off, because the offsuit ones really, really don't like to defend. The equity realization post flop's very bad. You're dominated super often when you make a pair, blah, blah, blah. You'd much rather defend hands like 6-4 suited, 5-3 suited, 7-5 suited, 7-6 suited, stuff like that, and fold as high up as like queen 8, queen 9 up. In
Probably
this
a check raise.
Cover, he can.
Sorry to interrupt you. Just this interesting call. I would think on the queen 8-5, unblocking top pair would be a great spot to check raise on such a draw heavy board, but he doesn't in the jack of hearts, potentially a card that could limit the size of that pot. As you gave a really good explanation of what to defend and whatnot. Again, positions matter too, right? He's under the gun 6-handed versus the button.
Sure.
But he is going to now lead out on this. And this is Radoja just going to find another way to lose the min? I mean, ace queen, this hand shrinks up a lot with this turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. URJ, it's crazy. These guys playing all day. It's going for all, the raises, the barrels and stuff with the no equity. He goes for the check call slow play with bottom set on the queen 8-5. So it's interesting that he would choose to do that. The jack of hearts obviously is the escape hatch for Radoja. Like, that's how he's going to be able to get away from this hand. We'll see what happens here on the river. It's 1 SPR. We could just see an all-in bet. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes greedy with it. And then in one world, Radoja is going to be put to the test. The question if it's all-in or not. So it's not all-in. It's going to be half pot.
Yeah, I mean, no 9, no 10. More importantly, no heart, where there is a flush possible. It has ace queen, but this is a very tricky spot, and against a player that we've seen has been out of line. So that's sort of, I think, the kicker here, which why it's going to be even more difficult to fold this top pair, top kicker. Although the turn was not advantageous for his holding, he does find a way off. And Radoja, who could easily be out for a few situations and a few runouts different, but he is maintaining $1 million. Scott, still some chips, but on the shorter side, about 15 blind.
Yeah.
I mean, calling there, can't blame him for folding. He made a good fold.
So Simon's here.
Oof.
Yeah, he's going to go for the sort of committing three bet there. So I put it just because Vogel's is opening such a wide range. Sevens are a little bit off because you're a lot of the raise folding range has like a 7 in it. So if he has like king 7 suited, even jack 7 suited, which he's going to be opening because he's got so many chips and stuff. And positionally, they're pretty early there. But are we going to break?
Nope, just a little update on the who's been eliminated. What's next?
Update.
Sixth place going to be about 100K, just under 6 figures, and then you see all the way up to first. No deal making available. Winner played out today, and we are with a ace king. My guy has had a lot of premiums, aces, queens, ace king. He has gotten pretty good situations, and he is in a second place position right now. All right, well, queens again on the button. This time, Radoja not going to have any competition, although 8-6 off, again, this is you start talking about, do you defend, do you not, do you have such a chip lead, pretty much closing the action, min raise, going to go ahead and check. And this is one where, Radoja is all of a sudden against the gut shot. Let's see if he wants to bet small. I mean, again, he blocks king, queen, ace, king is in this situation that every player would have. It's like if he has a king, it'd be pretty unlucky. Only one over. There are draws. There's 5x, 4x that may be interested. So he is going to bet. And let's see if Vogel's saying check raises or gets interested here. And, if he just calls like he does, see if Radoja wants to go for another bet, sort of blocker or check, and then decide river. I guess he has two kind of decisions here. Could go about it both ways.
Definitely like to see a check back there on the turn.
And this card is kind of a bummer for Vogel saying who wanted to get creative. I mean, it's just so less likely as a king. And now, I mean, I don't know. It just seems, although he's got basically the worst hand he could have, essentially, other than 6-3 or 2-3, but basically the worst. I mean, Radoja's not opening worse than 8-6 off there. 8-6 suited or whatever. So it's curious if he's going to take a stab or not. And I think he recognizes, right, that this is not a great story that he would be telling. Radoja seems like a pretty clear value bet.
Yeah.
And maybe bigger, right? Maybe even just bigger, because if he has 5x or 4x, could think it's a bluff. He does go on the bigger side or just not fold. He does get the fold. Radoja back over $1 million, 1.2. Him and Panakovs are battling on the shorter stack. Everyone else healthy. Tricky hand to play here. 30 bigs. I mean, definitely going to open, but just one of those ones where, could get put in some tough spots. Nice to see the chip leader fold. Panakovs doesn't call, so a pickup there. We are again 6-handed, play to a winner. About an hour into the show, Michael Jozoff alongside Jeff Gross, your host. We are here, episode 40 of season 2023. Giveaways are available. Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. You can go to the pin tweet. Also, we are going to have a $50 or $100 cash giveaway based on who wins. I will just update. Who do we have left? So I've got Vogel saying, you've got Panakovs, you've got Radoja, I've got URJ.
I've got a lot of too. You're in a great spot here. I think you have you got the Montenegro Madman too. So
yeah, you're in a battle here.
Yeah. Interesting asymmetric stacks spot here, right? So like obviously eights are more than good enough to commit against Alex, but with 50 bigs effective against the big blind, so he goes for the 3-bet with the intention to 3-bet call against Alex and allows for him to escape against the cold 4-bet, something like that.
Yeah, this is again, it's cool to see the cards face up. We do see some big holdings get delivered, dealt, but then it's so many times such modest holdings. It's so hard to make hands, get big hands, make pairs, so much bluffing, so much creativity in Nolan and Hold'em. And what about any other games you play? Do you like mixed games? Do you play any PLO, or are you strictly NLH?
Yeah, I'm strictly no limit. I've played every year. I'll kind of mess around a little bit. I played like the 10K short deck the last couple of years at the World Series. I played the 1500 PLO 8 2 years ago, where I was having people at the table explain the rules of the game to me as I played. So I mess around a little bit, but no, definitely just a pure no player.
All right. Again, Vogel saying defending, going to whiff 4-5 off, king 10 suited, top pair. The taxi shot to Houston, Texas. Anyone out there knows what I'm talking about. The taxi cab, although it's suited, a little more premium, also in position, pretty standard open, of course. And he is going to hit top pair, going to bet at 4-5, not to make a meal over it, just gets out the way. I am going to say, I mean, yeah, Vogel saying having a pretty clean game. He got up to 6 million. He's at 5. He's healthy. Madman Montenegro has chipped up nicely, 4.5 million. Radoja's sort of on a free roll a couple times. The fours in particular could have got really ugly for him. Got away from middle set versus top pair, and it ran out flush runner for Vogel saying. And here, two big hands. Definitely could see 5 here.
We could, depends on how this goes. Vogel saying definitely could just go for the open shove, which is going to be like, yeah, and he does. And Alex with king queen off, a little bit awkward one because you're behind all the ace X, and you definitely don't want to get 6. So he's going to think it over.
I think he's going to call. I mean, he's also the shortest stack, right? Like he's got, like there are worse hands here, and against he's not really ever going to be dominated. Although skill wise, I think he believes so much in his game, and he also realizes.
Yeah, because right. Yeah, Vogel's, as you started to cut you off, Vogel's never going to be shoving anything that dominates him. So it's never queens plus or ace king, ace queen, which does lend itself to a call a little bit more. You just have to think about the risk premium in the spot. He ended up folding. Because, again, if you think about the majority of Vogel's open shoving range, it's just going to be a lot of A7 offs, A7 suited, Ace8, Ace9 off, Ace deuce, a lot of just like high-low Ace X. And so to take 45% against most of that range, really, it's not the best. And I think if he had a hand like king 4 off, king 5 off, maybe he would just go for the 3X instead. So I think that's going to be an interesting one to check out. I'm going to talk to Alex later.
Yeah, very interesting. I'd like to get a little more in-depth analysis on that, specifically king queen with the fold and the stack size and all the considerations, because again, for in a vacuum, very close. Also the fact he's the shortest, I think I might just lean towards call, but again, Panakov's probably looking around, seeing some guys he's not as familiar with or just feels he has an edge against, and just looking not to rip it in, even if he is a slight favorite. I mean, obviously it's a disaster if it's like king 10 or queen jack. I mean, the question is, what does Vogel Singh do with those hands? Is he ripping them as well, or maybe he just feels that he's not going to be all in there with some really modest holdings?
Right. So I think a lot of the queen 10s for Vogel saying he would play as just a 3X or something like that, or like a lot of those. If you're going to jam a hand like, let's say, jack 10, you kind of get called by better and fold out worse, you know? So it's not the most efficient to open shove those. And I think general population plays too many open shoves in this spot as the chip lead with a lot of those hands. Certainly it can't be that bad to do it, but I think, I think this is just going to be an interesting one to look at later with Alex.
King 8.
Little cheeky stuff going on right here.
Yeah, deuces. I mean, deuces on this board definitely could be good. Definitely.
Yeah, but he's betting 10% pot in position on turn.
Yeah.
And it's
Get out of the way.
Feels like a spot. It's just get out of the way. And ace, number 1 for Christoph Vogelsang. And Alex is a spot with king jack off here where he can definitely do something against a very, very wide opening range. Does go for the fold, and it's going to be a good fold against his exact hand. So, but now as Alex does, there's a little bit more distance between Alex and Radoja. as Alex becomes the 6 out of 6, it enables him, risk premium goes down, opens up the playbook a little bit more.
I gotta say, our guy here from Montenegro's had aces, queens, aces, ace king on the cutoff or button. He's had some really big hands, not really been matched up against powerhouse competitive hands, but here ace 4 off could get a little out of line. He's been very active on the button, so I wouldn't be surprised to see ace 4 step out, and be interesting. He could have an opportunity if he does get 3-bet to just flat and put the ace 4 off in a really bad spot.
He does go for the 3-bet. I'd like this 3-bet in general. And our guy URJ has been getting after it all day, so I might be a little tempted here to go for the click where you're and see if you can get him to do something. But no, he goes for your idea, Jeff, goes for just the flat, and maybe that's even better actually against this opponent in particular, because we've seen his propensity to just go for it regardless of his card, regardless of the board.
This could be an absolute nuclear punt. I mean, this guy, he has it so what a brick flop. He's got the ace of spade. There's like no back door, just no. He needs like running 4-4, 3-5, and he has got him out of pocket here. This could be an epic meltdown of a hand. Let's see.
I love that. That's probably one of my favorite lines I've ever heard from you, Jeff. Especially on the kicker. This could just be an absolutely nuclear punt.
Yeah. And honestly, this run out, the king now, he's not going to think he's got ace king, right? Or king queen, maybe, he's got, this feels like if we know our guy, he's going to be barreling here, I think, on this tournament.
Give him a club on the river, and then just remove him from the tournament. Like, put the club on the river, just take all his chips, give it to the other guy. And,
wow.
But he goes for a big size on the turn.
0% equity bet. And now does he close his eyes and call, or does he just say, you know what, there's so much draws, there's so much going on. If he has a king, he's not folding. I want to get the value / protection. It's a huge pot. What do you think? I mean, obviously seeing his hand, we know the answer, but like there are hands that you could, I mean, are you supposed to just always close your eyes and call?
I think with the ace of spades, without the ace of spades, it makes you want to jam a lot more. With the ace of spades, you're blocking his like ace whatever suited stuff that could be barreling the turn here. So I think if you're going to choose one to slow play, you'd want to slow play this one. I don't mind jamming it either, though. But if you were going to slow play some pieces here, you would choose the ones with the spade in them, or club if that was available.
This has been a masterpiece hand so far. Let's see. I mean, it just be curious to see. I honestly, at this point, he's really milked. He's got a lot, and that you wouldn't blame him for shoving. But at the same time, the reason to just call, I guess, would be, for this reason. When there's stone air, and then maybe also like, how much protection do you need? I mean, it's a very wet board, but like again.
Yeah, I mean, spade, club, queen, jack. I mean, he's not going to have many spade combos here when Sam's got the spades, right? Because a lot of those queen, jack of spades, he would just flat pre. King, queen of spades, king, jack of spades, stuff like that. He'd mostly just flat pre. So I think you're not too worried about a spade. You're more worried about a club, a queen, a jack, stuff like that.
I mean, he is really in the
but also
here.
Yeah.
I mean, is it too early in the year to see a muck and just go for a hero fold, put him on kings, and then get out of the way? Like, this is what I mean. He's taking a lot of time at this point. He's really thinking about this. I mean, I guess it is a decision to call or shove. But I mean, I obviously I don't even consider that's what he's considering to fold. But like, he's taking an unusual amount of time at this point.
Yeah, I don't think he's considering full. That would
no.
I
don't either. I'm just saying it's actually like a wild amount of time at this point.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. Yeah, usually you only see this amount of time taken on river, basically. So
it's actually it's kind of a hilarious shove too. If like you tank for 2.5 minutes and then jam here, it's kind of funny. It's all, no matter what he does, it's gonna be funny because if he calls, it's going to be a snap rip, I think, on the river, whatever he does, whatever happens.
That would be hysterical. Just get this imagine like we get some river snap like this could be a really funny moment.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm excited.
I hope he's awake. Maybe what time is it over in Monte? Did he maybe fall? Oh
my God. Oh, just standing up. I've never seen Jeff stand up one.
I mean, honestly, it got uncomfortable the amount of time. That's why I was saying I don't think he's actually considering it, but like then it struck me that was the amount of like it went from not a trap anymore. That's what it felt like in his head. But like that is, I mean, I've seen a lot. That is out there. This guy is the one guy you could literally, he could show me pocket kings and I'd still like, you know what? I don't believe it. I'm just going for it. Like, I don't know.
He shows you pocket, yeah, like these are fake cards. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I've seen it all. I really have. I've been around poker a long time. Like that's out there. Like the textbook flat 0% equity turn and the guy, and then, I mean, what does he put him on? Kings? Is that what happened?
I don't know. I mean, because think about it, right? Like, what was the flop? It was 10-6-4 or something. It was like, it was cards where he's not going to have a set very often. Like, even tens, you know, like, you don't really love 3-bet calling tens in this spot without so much ICM pressure. So, we're talking about exactly kings, king 10 as a 3-bet bluff. I think ace king is extremely likely. He's going to have all of the combos of ace king, which is going to be 4 times 2 because when he blocks the 2 aces, so and then the king is out there. But he's gonna have 6 combos of ace king. He's gonna have value combos that you're beating. He's gonna have king queen off or something maybe that would bet the turn of that size. Maybe it wouldn't. I just folding aces. I'm trying to find a reason here, Jeff. Racking my brain right now, but I can't find one. I can't find the fold aces, especially against that guy. I think I'm making some pretty big exploit folds and pretty big hero folds, but it's not the spot.
I don't know. I need a minute. I just need a minute because like that was crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What am I gonna say? I don't know. Sometimes I don't have words. It's just such a wild boy. It's not like it was like 9-10 jack or 10 jack, 10 queen jack. Like something that I don't know, or three of the non-suit for you, or a flush turn. It was just really draw heavy, and also like you said, the 3-bet bluffs are like the suited the wheel aces, which granted you have aces, so you block, but like I don't know, there's just not a lot of.
I mean, I guess he's thinking having aces is a really bad combo because you block the bluff, which is true, and you block ace king, which is the value that you beat. But at the end of the day, you still beat value. So I don't know how I can get behind the fold there.
All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll note that. That was, I mean, again, like that was definitely probably the biggest fold we've ever seen. There's been some great folds, as in like world class or behind guys making monster laydowns. But to fold there with that trap set, his hand is so disguised. It's hard to really to understand there. But anyway, let's move on. Let's see how it works out. Still 3.5 million and still tied for second. So, just again, the fact that the player's so out of line, that's even the wilder part. Like of course, great flat you said versus min raise or click it up. I just think if you have to close your eyes and call down there regardless, let alone maybe just raise the turn if you're uncomfortable, just put it in. So, oh well, move on. All right, Radoja.
A little bit of a wide open here.
Little play out of using a little image there, kind of showing us the range of his game, not just check back sets and fold the scary boards, but open it up and using a big little combo and just sort of good timing. One of those guys just really. Radoja also has an invite. I'd love to have Mark on the show. I don't know how active he is on social lately, but I know he's won a second bracelet and he does play a lot, and he has a lot of very impressive resume on the GG Millions. Love to have him on it as well. I get that a lot now, actually, players reaching out to be on the show, which is great. So again, I think you said Panakov's. I don't know if that would be, you said, is that in terms of English?
His English is, he could definitely do it. I mean, his English is definitely good enough to do the show.
Love to have him on. Love to have him. Again, some great players been reaching out. I've had a couple of the top guys on the leaderboard reach out and be on as well. And of course, always welcome to have. And I think you've been a 3-time guest now, at least 3, I believe.
This is 4. This is 4.
Oh wow,
this one is 4.
And,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. I knew we've done. That's what I thought. I thought it was 3. We've done 3, 4. You're in the airport lounge right now. The dedication is real. We appreciate that. And again, like I'd always rather have someone on that really enjoys it and it asks to be on. I have now a few good lists of players that kind of, they say, hey, if you need me again, if there's someone who backs out, or if someone last second is at a final table, can come on. I know you're on that list, and great to have you as always. And how do you feel? Do you enjoy commentary? Is that something that you actually like? Do you feel it helps your game, or is it just fun for you, or what do you like the most?
I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it for sure. I don't think I take it seriously in terms of like a career path or anything like that. But I think it's just fun to do, mix it up every now and then. And you know, I don't want to call myself super, but the last couple times I've done it, I've gone on a giant upswing right after. You know, everyone, that's a real thing, right? That's what people talk about. The GG commentary. It's like the reverse curse. It's the blessing, I guess. But you know, you do the Super Millions commentary, and then you know, the gods look down in your favor. So. But yeah, no, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Enjoy it. So.
Yeah, it is fun. There's definitely some booth magic. We talked
suited.
about it. I could name a lot of examples, players that have come on and either directly had success in the GGMillion, or even Sergio Edu came on and won like 1 or 2 weeks later the 5K main event at the Hard Rock. But of course, guys are great players, including yourself. So you can't just take all the booth credit if good things happen after. There's something to that, though. I feel it is nice to kind of get a refresher, a forced study session, and just sort of see what's going on. Also, you play with a lot of these guys in this format, this tournament, so it's cool to kind of get a look at their final table approach. And again, some of the guys you just may not know, right? Like some of these guys you're seeing, you might see again randomly, and you're like, oh, wow, I remember, you know, like this guy URJ, man, he better have it
right
if you're playing. Like he is completely out of pocket and playing well though. I mean, honestly, like in the sense of aggression, definitely hard to play against aggression. It's worked out for him. Got bailed out by the fold button there from S-Mad, but and
he's gonna be so disgusted when he sees that hand cards up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I haven't got out of my chair. I've almost fallen out. I've laid back, but I actually haven't had to walk up. And I mean, that really took me back. That was wild. And here he goes. He's actually going to get a fortuitous river here and have a winner if he's able to get the showdown. See if he throws out some sort of bet or just, okay, interesting. With just a very, very like middling hand, he's going to bet heavy here. But I don't hate it. I guess I wouldn't do that, but I just curious. I guess he's targeting like 8x. Also doesn't want to get bluffed, but I don't know. Sizing
8x 6x. No, I think it's just more. He's just going for a value bet. I think this was a limp check hand pre-flop, so you know ranges are really wide. I don't think he expects URJ to have king here a bunch, so I think it's just a pretty good value bet. And you know, whenever URJ has a hand like 6-5, if this guy, oh my god, man.
Yo, I can't breathe. This is crazy. And the thing is, this has not been on stream delay for sure. So that guy hasn't even seen the H4. This guy's going to need to take a TO. We might see a deal out for a little bit here. Or maybe he'll just make a call. Like the thing is, if he calls here, but he folds the other one and doesn't, like, you know what I mean? It's so crazy because this hand is way wilder. Like he's losing to so much here, whereas the other one, he's like ahead of almost everything.
I don't know what's going on. This guy, you know how sometimes you bluff a guy or you've been really active, you're raising a lot, and then you kind of feel that dynamic where it's like, okay, well in the next pot, should I go for you full again? Wow. So maybe he knows his customer. Maybe RJ just knows his man.
Yeah, and apparently Matt Aziv does not know his man because this guy's been bluffing all day long and probably all tournament long, and he has, just let's see his total stats. URJ is literally he's played one time in this 2023 season and never before in the GGMillions. Has 1.772 earnings in GG. So has played some tournaments. GGMillions, very little experience, like none basically. Everyone else has had.
Dude, this guy has gone from like, what was he at? Like 1 million chips, 4 million chips, and he's had the best hand I think 0 times. Like,
I personally, I would never bet that river. I think I think based on that particular player, and just I wouldn't want to bet fold, so I think I just check the side / check call.
Yeah, or if the guy's this out of line, just bet call. I mean, he's this out of line, like just check and just bet call. You're just making the maximum that way.
Yeah, or not even bet call, like just bet check or but yeah, I mean, right. I guess just not fold. I wouldn't want to get blown off there, that's for sure. So anyway, all right, we're see how this dynamic plays out. But I mean, this guy really URJ is having fun out there. He is stepping into it, and Mark Radoja slipping some rope here with the nuts, the stone cold steel, not the wheel, but the nut flush board pairs, although not too relevant. There wasn't much action, right? So I don't think he's going to be worried about any full houses here. He has the nuts and even blocks the straight flush just in case. But quads up to a boat. No worries here. Radoja, let's see how he's going to target, try to get paid, or what he will do. All right, not much value to get there.
But the dynamic, like I was talking about with those sort of those game flow dynamics, the next spot will be crazy. Like this guy going for it again, especially if it's long enough where he's able to see, with the stream play, the last couple hands. I mean, if he goes for it again, this guy's just pure psychopath.
The best part though, when you get to go for it, like air balls all over the place and get through, and now you just like he's at some point he's gonna have a hand. The guy just never gets a hand. Like he's gonna get something.
Is he? He might not.
Yeah, true.
But no, yeah, he will. This stream will help this man get paid for the rest of his life. I will say that.
Ace 10 suited going to run into another kind of problem. I mean, either way, Radoja with 10s, definitely six-handed off 30 blinds. He's got options. I think you start getting the neighborhood of value, right, to just 3-bet, but he is.
I think you want to call. I think you want to call here because Alex is shorter. Marcos is a bit shorter than you. It's a flatter payout structure. 3-bet calling is really, really bad. Just because you're close. Running into.
I like the call for sure. I'm just saying it started getting a little shorter or a little different spot. It's still six-handed. It's not cut off button, but yeah, 10's definitely a lot of benefits.
It's starting to get close. Yeah, it's starting to get close.
Yeah, but yeah, I like it. And again, he just gets out flop. Radoja really has, I think, for what he's been dealt and situations he's been in, he's really done a good job where he's at, because he's been getting sort of second best or making hands and getting out runnered. And here we go again. Ace king to queens though. This is one of those sort of different than 10s. Just likely we might see the pot of the tournament right now. Although who knows? Ace king may just call the 3-bet or fold. I mean, based on what we've seen, who knows what is possible. And
well, here's the collision. So he decides queen's going to 3-bet calls one. Going to be a shove and a call, and we're off to the races.
That clock getting down to 240, so no one really critical top clock. And Radoja, sort of realizing we jacks or ace king a lot in the spot. Ace king, it is a fair fight. Let's see if Radoja, who is going to get out flop, going to need some help, and now needs the king on the river. If it would be, that would be pretty dramatic. Not going to be paint, and just a kind of a wild ride for Radoja, who's going to get I want to say not undeserved, but a dusty, tough 6 place there, right? And S-Mad looks like a genius.
Definitely a tough 6.
Even though it was 0%, if the ace 4 had just called or shoved in, he would have won the pot. But either way, he's back to 5.7. He is your chip leader. And,
yeah.
Hey, what are you going to do? Look,
for sure.
Konakov's super short now, and he is in control, 5-handed.
Sort of a metaphor for poker, right? I mean, I feel like Radoja's been sort of navigating post flop. He's made like the huge correct folds. Felt like he's played really well at this FT, and just sort of is on the wrong side of variance. And this guy S-Mad just has gotten completely wrecked by the guy on his left. I'm sorry, there's no nice way to put it. And all of a sudden, one flip later, he's chip leader. So it's a crazy game we play.
This has been special. Hit the thumbs up if you're having fun. I got to say, that is probably the most interesting wild hand I've seen, and I've seen a lot. I've done a lot of calls, and that was like just so crazy. And the sick part is it really felt like it. It went from call or all in to like could be folding. It just felt that way, and that really is. I'd love to hear what he put him on. I guess it was like kings. Yeah, must have put him on kings. So there we go. 9-10 diamonds. A flush 9 high, turns it, and he's going for value. Gonna go for value with the 9 of diamonds. And man, Vogel saying knows his man, knows the boards, and he is right there vying for the chip lead as he will open and likely just going to go to a big blind defend. A7 off, queen jack off. Okay, queen jack off with the spade. A7 mid pair, ace kicker versus this type of wild player would expect to be betting very small or checking. Maybe more protection.
I mean, with all the hands on all the board textures that URJ's gone from check raise with, I mean, I can't imagine how he would be. Actually, so he decides to fold the two overs with the backdoors. I'm just trying to get a feel for my man over here.
Yeah, that was like, out of all the spots, he's just gone crazy. Like, that actually was like really a realistic one to get a little loose on, and he did just snap fold. So who knows? Like I said, maybe he's just got respect. The Austrian counterpart knows Vogel saying demands respect. Chip leader doesn't want to tango. He's happy with his very healthy third place stack. Panakov's is got to make a move here soon. Going to fold. And also our friend here from Estonia, Marcos, has been fairly quiet. Ace-8 in kind of a tricky spot, right? You see Panakov's there is in a position to go on the chopping block next. And Jack-7 suited, Vogel saying may put pressure on with a lot of hands. Jack-7 suited got a lot of playability. Decides not to get aggressive. Does gonna like this flop. Got the double gutter. Pretty monster flop in the limp pot. Backdoor diamond. So let's see if he starts attacking this.
Yeah, seems like a really, really monster flop for Vogel. And Marcos has like one of those catcher type hands that you're not really considering to raise them on many runouts at all. So you're just gonna kind of have to hang on here. And obviously Vogel has one of those hands, especially when he's covering, that he's just gonna barrel a bunch. This might slow stuff down if Vogel thinks that his 7 is enough showdown value here. But I could also see a world where maybe the 7 is used as a bluff at some point.
Yeah, it's probably
on this run out, probably not. Yeah,
probably close. And as it plays now, I mean, big pop for Marcus here. If he can pick this up, he'll be at 1.8. I mean, again, feels a little probably, I would say, better with the run out, although it's a lot going on. Wide ranges. Could go for some value. I mean, 8x, 5x he's beating, right? And would have heard likely from a 6 on the turn. See if he does put some chips in here. It does check. And Vogel saying, I think, just going to have too much showdown value to mess around there.
Yeah, that was one of the few runouts where chips don't really fly with Vogel's hand. So let's see if Marcos goes for the bigger open size here, because Alex is short in the big blind. Something like 180K, 170, 180. Yeah, so he does.
All right, Jack 5. Hello. Gonna defend, hit top pair, a lot in the middle now, and a SPR less than 1. We'll check it over.
Yeah, I just think you don't want to allow him to make a hero fold with a hand like exactly the one like he has. Just gonna bet one big blind stuff, and Alex gonna jam now.
Kind of a frustrating one for the ace-8, right? It's sort of annoying, and now you realize the bad news, but you're just like, man, this guy was super short. Now he's like all of a sudden way in it again. It's got over 800K.
You got to think, your ace is probably live.
Oh,
you got the backdoor equity of 8.
All right, well,
16% against
shows
the
us
jack.
off the short stack what he's capable of. He is actually going to get it in as a big favorite, defends and has to fade, and he does, as it is not just a pickup, it's a double up, and Alex is now officially over $1 million and back in the game. Never really got it going, did win that flip versus Roman to put him up to 1.4, almost 1.5, but really sort of hovered around. Hasn't had a lot of playable hands. Or I guess he won the big flip in that moment, but he is now a factor as we see Mad in the big blind with the ace-4 off and could leverage maybe this next pay jump potentially, but his game hasn't really seemed like, hasn't done a ton of like bluffing and rebetting. So he does just call, and this is a flop that can get him in some trouble. Well, ace-4. I mean, can't blame him. And this is a wild card. What a spot for sixes. I mean, the 4, Jack, Jack, Jack. You have an overpair to the 4, and your opponent has the boat. I mean, this is a very good opportunity. I mean, look, I think you're just obviously thrilled with the board. Gonna bet. And Mad is now a little less excited. I mean, realizing losing the fives plus, drawing dead to some of those hands. He does actually have outs. An ace would be good. And I mean, be kind of hard fetched to see a fold here, although he's made some big folds. 2 minutes on his chess clock, the shortest by far. That one hand took a long time. Think long, think wrong. We saw that, and he is going to actually go ahead and step out here. And now sixes, I mean, although you're kind of like, what on earth, you're still got to be pretty thrilled with, especially when you get check raised here, that there's not many bad.
I don't think sixes are thrilled here, but it's weird because, like, you know, he's not going to have anything like tens plus, right? Because those all would take a different line pre-flop. Those would all get it in somehow. So when he's doing this min check raise or almost min check raise, he's basically polarizing himself to quads or nothing. But he does get the fold. So I don't know what's going on anymore. I think it's kind of like stick/wild check raise. And that's a pretty sick/wild fold. Seen a lot of folds today, Jeff. What do you think?
I'm just honestly like, I'm perplexed on a few different. I don't know what else. Like, he just puts him on a jack there. Like, I get it that he's sure. Maybe based on how he plays, he saw him fold the aces now, and like he's just like the guy has to have quads, or like he flatted sevens. I mean, I don't know. Like, what does he think? I don't know, man. I need a moment. I'm gonna just look and observe. And this has been a very interesting final table. I'll say that. I don't know.
Indeed.
I mean, again,
yeah, for
short
sure.
stacked, risk premium. Like, it just, I get it. It looks strong, but like, you have sixes. It's just like, what does he have? Is he going to min raise you with the, maybe is that how you play a jack? I guess, like, yeah, you figure you're going to get checked back.
I guess it has to be, yeah. Like, or you could just call in lead rivers and stuff. I don't know. But.
Right. Yeah, it's just.
Okay, so kind of an interesting one. Vogel picks up the 7, so he's ahead on the turn. S-Mad's got the flush draw along with the double. So big time combo draw here, although, and he bricks all of it.
Yeah, Queen 7 has a winner.
Yeah, I think the Queen 7 here, I don't think you want to, you obviously can't value bet, or he does go for the really thin block here, but for less than about a quarter pot. I think it's pretty thin. And now with the 6-4 of hearts, this one you probably just fold and don't try to do anything crazy, I think.
Yeah, well played. Well played. 2 short stacks, 2 big stacks, and then URJ kind of in the middle here as we see ace queen with 6 mil. Surely going to take it up And Panikov's now in the big blind. Fold equity is not much of a thing. I guess he, what, 10 blinds? Still 10 blinds. He had threes.
No, he has 11 back, so he definitely is going to have fold equity. Now it's a little bit of a difference. So now you can't jam the threes anymore. I think you definitely can jam the threes against the wide chip leader open. He's going to be opening stuff like K8 off, Jack 6 suited and stuff that's going to have to fold.
I mean,
he goes for call. I wouldn't even mind to see him fold because you have 10 big. You can't really set mine off 10 bigs. How do you win the hand if you set against two ranges? You know, like there's just no world where if you don't hit the set, you make it the river and win. So.
Well, he was in the lead on the turn. They were kind of blocking each other. Some version of him getting to a river, but now ace queen. This is It
looks like SMAD's been sort of outside of variance despite what else has transpired.
Yeah, not shoving makes sense, right? Too, because like Vogel saying could have some 4s, 5s, 6s, something like that. He's just gonna like get the fold sometimes.
Yeah, and then he's priced in like I don't think there's pretty much no world where Alex gets two. Like the first guy could be opening super light, but then when Vogel has there's no risk premium on him to call off because he covers Alex by so much. You're almost getting the Queen Jack suited at that point. So I mean, there's no reason to shove at all. I would probably fold there myself pre-flop, but I guess if there's an off chance he hits a 3, he might change his whole situation.
And Queen Jack, King on the river. Both players not going to be thrilled with that card, although Queen Jack probably again maybe like some sort of blocker value bet. There are hands like 10s, 9s, Queen 10 suited, some other hands here. The King isn't such a it's not a great card. He's actually going to size up here and again, just snap call. Okay, this time Matt just thinks it through, does call, draws miss, other stuff misses, no heart in his hand. Pretty nice call catcher, bluff catcher, and he actually had a hand where he was overvaluing the turn there. Kicker issues for Vogel saying 7 million for our guy who made the epically large fold, and now 7 mil got a healthy lead in first though.
Not going to name names, Jeff, but I have my phone and my Discord both blow right now. That ace is full. Pretty funny stuff.
You have them? Oh, they're blowing up.
My phone's blowing up. You're texting me about that ace is full.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is. Well, 9 arrives, and right now it seems like the Montenegro can't call him the maniac, considering can't call him the alliteration isn't going to work there. The Montenegro, not sure we're going to find a word, but he just can do no wrong. He's dominated. He's turning stuff. He's getting paid. The only thing he did wrong, which would have expedited things, he would have called with aces or raised on the turn where he had his opponent dead to rights. That was the hand of the day. As it stands, though, he is still in very good shape. Going to have likely win this hand. I mean, I say likely, but who knows? Queen 6 could get spicy. He does have a top pair. He's just going to rip out a bet here, which is also. He's got a style. Everyone's got a style. His style is erratic and fun and also showing some. I mean, listen, he's chip leading the 10K GGMillion. And I think he's got some game, but he's definitely done some unconventional things today. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to dog on the guy too hard, right? I mean, he's a good player. He's a rep. He's at the FT of the 10K Millions. I think that I'd love to talk to him. I mean, I don't personally know him, but I would love to know what his thought process was in that particular hand. But typically, like when you see good regs do these things, you know, everybody has a reason for doing stuff. But okay, this is gonna be an all-in in the snap here. Ace nine suited.
Ace jack, ace nine. We could be down to 4, and of course, Panikov sweating this for a pay jump as he is short. Diamond sweat makes it 2-1. Very live, very on the table. It's a spade, and it is gonna be. Is that a chop?
Yeah, it's a chop.
Tilt. Panikov's can't believe it. That's just 21 G's out the door. 2 buy-ins. I mean, not over, but him and the player are jockeying for the next spot, and his 8 blind, he's going to raise ace 7 off. Interesting how ace 10 suited will perceive this.
Get snap punished.
Ingard, appreciate that. Subscribe. Yeah, welcome everyone. Hit the subscribe button. Of course, the thumbs up. First part of the giveaway. Going to be $50 or $100 at the end of the stream. Also, the Twitter, Jeff Bros Poker pin tweet. You can retweet, follow those instructions. That is available. I can put the link. Let me get the link as well. Drop that in now as we're deeper in the show. Going to have
a couple big hands here. Oh, the man can do no wrong right now. Ace, king, jacks, 10, just flop a couple of aces. 2 is better than 1, not only because you have a strong hand, but because it's less likely in the other player's minds that you have an ace. But
wow, I mean, what a spot. And he is going to come out betting. And if you got jacks or 10s, interesting. Multi-way.
It's a gross spot already. Yeah, you're multi-way here, and when you have a hand like jack, most of the bluffs that S-Mad's going to have here are going to be those queen jack, jack 10, king jack type of ones. Maybe not the king X ones as much, but king of diamonds on turn, and now obviously the lock on it for S-Med, and it is going to be tough here to expect any more out of these 2 combos, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, ace king. This is just, again, it's going his way. He's got a really interesting spot right now. 3-handed with the 3rd and 4th, or I should say 2nd and 3rd tied, and 4th and 5th basically tied in a really good spot. Not to mention this pot going to go in his direction, of course, with the stone cold nuts.
Wow, and it's a bluff from Vogel saying here with the and that'll be the stone cold nuts.
I mean, what a life right now. This is just Vogel saying that. I'm curious by this play too. I guess he's trying to fold out a king. I mean, he just repping the ace.
I think world where he can even fold. I think there's a world where he's even folding out weak ace sets. Like imagine, because S-Mad's going to be opening, you know, all of those like ace 4s, ace 6s, and stuff. So if you have an ace where your kicker doesn't play, I mean, it's pretty credible bet from Vogel. I think a lot of players here would fold, especially this guy. I mean, he folded in a lot crazier spots, right? Than to fold an ace when he goes a lot in a multi-way spot here.
He can't imagine getting raised there either, right? This guy, exactly. No, like ace king is like only, even kings wouldn't raise, probably, right? So like that's just a crazy hand. But not 10 million from Mad Dog. The Montenegro madman is on his way with 10 mil, and he has got people in Barney Rubble trouble. This is a absolute mess of a situation for everyone involved. And King 10, it's a lot of hand, but you're gonna get called. Can't pass King 5 suited. It's just a flick of the bucket, and he see if Panikovs can fade and get back into 4th here. King 5 suited though feels like a spade turn. Nope, but board pair chop opportunity Big favorite, though, to double. King 10 is going to get a double. And, yeah, pretty wild stuff here. 9.4 million for Mad.
Yep. I mean, Alex seems like he's just been sort of, getting a flip to stay alive and staying out of it. And then, enough time goes by when another flip to stay alive out of it. Sort of how the cards have dictated his play today. See if URJ just starts to fold the 5-3 in this spot. Pretty when the guy has 9s. I'm not sure he's supposed to play many folds there at all.
Yeah, like you said, Vogel saying too. I mean, he shows a lot of pot control discipline, but then finds places to take shots. I mean, he made a high level play that just ran into the buzzsaw there, but he's definitely not afraid and has his reasons and really kind of, nice check though, right? SMAD checked the turn with the ace king there and got it to check through and then sort of fooled Vogel saying and thinking that no one had an ace. Eight, 10, ace 10.
So here off with the jacks, you're going to be a little bit under 40 bigs, like 5, 6 bigs. Definitely enough to do except call. When you have those two stacks as short as they are, getting it in here, even with 70 times of huge is faster than ICM. So have to call here, and Alex will probably come along for the ride as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is not the shortest, but he decides actually to fold, which is also very interesting. Just understanding too, I guess, multi-way, going to be in bad shape and going to hit some top pairs or some sort of weak draws that are just dead. So very disciplined. And also another thing to consider, multi-way, different stack sizes, different times of a tournament. It's different. Early in a tournament, you're short or before the money, but now you're final table ICM, and he would have been in really bad shape. Even, again, of course,
so here's
you can crush, but...
Yeah. We'll get back to that Alex's decision pre-flop in a second. Here is the opportunity for SMAD to maybe find his redemption, his sweet revenge against URJ. He's got the naked ace of heart. Jack is the best hand. And, this is basically having the green light to absolutely end up here. And we'll see. There's a chance Jax can just fold the turn right away. But if not, we can see how this river is going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking around and you think about what bluffs this particular player does have. It's sort of like, king, queen, or ace X or king X a heart in there that open, but like he's been pretty straightforward. So it sort of sucks. There's a queen already that you just happen to be losing to, like queen, king, or ace, queen, right? You're just like dead. Now you need to hit a jack. If you're behind, it's not a heart. If a heart comes, you're going to lose. Probably you might get bluffed. You start doing the wheel spinning.
Yeah, you're already 0% against the flush. Yeah, so
right. Yeah, it's kind of not that appetizing to call and then decide on the river. I mean, you got to just sort of think you're good, and then does call, and let's see, it sets up, bricks out. Will he follow through? Will he surrender? 1.5 in the million. Is it just a rip though, or is it a big bet? And URJ sticky, and he checks, and URJ gonna snap check back and just get the chips. I mean, he's going to get the chips in 19 seconds on our chip leader's chess clock there. A huge difference. You see all the other players have plenty of time. He, however, takes time, and he's going to run into a 0 set. It's going to actually be interesting because there's, considering he likes to take time, he's going to have 5 seconds every decision for the remainder when that hits 0. And there's still plenty of play left.
I don't know what's going on right now. Is he considering turning, you can't value that because he has you value that, obviously. So it's is he considering some insane turning jacks into a bluff against a perceived queen or something like this? I don't really know. All I know is if he ripped it there, parts 10, having that would have been better for TV. And I wanted to see it happen. So.
King 10 threes. Vogel saying, was your chip leader again? No guarantees. Now all of a sudden he is 3 of 5, 2 shorter stacks. And I got to say, URJ, I think, is in a pretty good position. He's got a little bit of, he's gotten some big bluffs, random, stuff through. and he's got a decent seat. And, you know, I think that he's
So
shaping up to be in a good spot today.
Yeah.
And interesting, though, that that's mad now leveraging the situation out of nowhere with a little 7-4 creativity. So, I mean, this guy will keep you guessing today.
Well, I think it's just good recognition. I mean, this guy S-Man, maybe he's nittier in certain spots, but he's definitely well studied, and he definitely understands ICM. And this is a spot where, as the small blind with the huge chip lead, I mean, the big blind's risk premium is just so high. You have 0 folds in your range. Your VP can do so. You're playing a lot of ISOs, or not ISOs, but RFIs in the small blind. So, it makes that, you know, even the guys who, you know, people would think from a small sample size, oh, I don't like the way he's playing. These guys are still very studied and very polished. So,
yeah, again, interesting that the man from Montenegro has over 4.5 million in GGPoker earnings, but 0 GGMillion earnings, as well as URJH also has 1.7 million earnings, but only 2 players with no GGMillion earnings prior to today. So, you know, both players, not like their first time. They do play. They do have scores on GG. They just haven't been playing 10Ks, it looks like. Maybe they satellited in. Maybe they took a shot, sold some action, as we don't know. But we can tell that there will be a new GGMillion champion unless Panakovs can come from the back and do it again. As you look at everyone guaranteed 6 figures, 122 up to 325. King 7, Shirley with his stack and his game going to be coming up.
So I think Queen Jack off should be a fold in theory here. I don't mind jamming it in this exact spot against this guy, but I'm pretty sure it would be. I think it's a good theoretical fold, but I think I would still this spot against this guy.
Yeah, this is ace-3 suited. This stack size, pretty nice spot to just go ahead and take it up. King 9 suited 5s, ace deuce 7-9. So it's kind of like the chalk middling sort of hands. All players sort of like okay hands. Ace 2's off on the button, okay. 7-9 suited, nice in the big blind, okay. King 9 diamond small blind, okay. 5's gonna go for it. And
So, okay, we're going to see a shove here from Alex, or at least something resembling a shove.
yeah, ace 10, pretty sure. Nice committal spot there. He does do the basically all in. And take it down. Panakovs really not, again, had a lot. Never really got unleashed. And he's still in there, hanging on. Blinds are up, 50, 100K. So sub 10 blinds. Big blind now has 13 blinds. Ace jack suited. My man has gotten real quality heat on the button. Aces, queens, aces, ace king. He is on a limited amount of shot clock. But other than that, everything else going his way. He was up to about 10 million. He's got 8.4 right now. 6-7 off, debating to take a peel, decides against it. Makes sense, right? Same thing, just ICM.
Yep.
I'm getting some weird ones, but those blinds are up. Ace jack, a nice hand, except when someone has a bigger hand behind. Ace king, URJ is likely going to get a good crack here at Panakovs, who's probably going to do that commit raise and is going to get to see unfortunate news that ace king will have him dominated. And again, chop pot's possible. Spades available, clubs work, straights work, jack's good. So you start saying it out loud like that, it feels like there's a chance. Chops happen, but he is in behind. He is going to need some help. A lot of chips in the middle. Big moment for everyone involved. Marco anti-sweating. Everyone else available We got diamonds are no good for a friend needs jack on the river. 3 outs, 6.82% chance. It's not a jack. It is GG for Michael Jozoff's coach. Also rocking, got my picture in there. You can see it on the right there, man. Of respect, Panakovs. I wish we could have called it as the champion with the picture. I appreciate that. But another nice score. And again, Panakovs, you can look at his resume. Very impressive on GG with his ranking finishing 6-22, 56-23. And he is moving on up on the leaderboard. And again, one of the more decorated guys in poker with over 10 million GGMillion winnings and plays the Tritons and all the high rollers. Very talented player. Nice guy to have as your coach. That is definitely a treat. So I'm sure he's shown you some tricks and you're pretty familiar with his game.
And this looks like Vogel saying is going to have a pretty clean shove here with queen suited. And it looks like RJH is just going to have a chance back-to-back knockouts here and really improve his stack. So here we go.
Four-handed, situationally, semi-fist pump. You don't love to put in like half your stack with ace queen. It is suited, it is four-handed. You do cover all those things aligned to a call, although we've seen some unconventional stuff. I think it's too much hand to consider folding. He's not. Vogel saying now, realizing he's going to be likely behind, if not maybe flipping jacks, tens. He sees the bad news, needs hearts, needs a king, got the heart draw, pretty even spot. King is available. That is a big one. And Vogel saying, everyone, don't count him out. He is all of a sudden potentially, there is no ace on the river. It is had to be pretty specific, non-ace, non-hard ace on the river. Not going to be in. Vogel saying from the depths was chip leader and then kind of on his way out dominated. But ace queen, I just feel like that hand lets down so many times, and there dominating does the same. And we've got a new ball game. And Marcos almost leapfrogged into top 3 with some knockouts, but he still is a short stack and now has a little more work cut out for him. He's going to go ahead and commit an ace queen. URJ going to get another chance. I got to cue the giveaway. We're already down to 4, potentially 3 if the best hand holds this time, as we'll see. Call this one out. Ace queen, queen 10 suited. 10 arrives, ace queen. Don't tell me it's really that hand that just can't ever get it done. That's how I feel for my poker career. Let's see. River, dealer, no ace. URJ just kind of pretty unfortunate to be dominating twice. Huge ICM spots, as we're going to cue this giveaway here. Keyword is going to be GGPoker space Jozoff and then space your insert GGPoker username. And that will be for $50, $100. Good luck. Keyword GGPoker space Jozoff, and I just spelled it wrong, but I just put the S instead of V. I realized that. We're gonna run with it. Sorry, maybe I should just do it again. I'll just do it again. Sorry, we'll just get it right. I don't want your name to put wrong everywhere. People are gonna. So GGPoker, Jozoff space insert. I don't want to have your name. That's people are going to think your name wrong for a long time then on here if they see it. So we got to get it right. It's early enough.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's my fault. There we go.
All right, so what do we got here? We have 7 out of the big blind against King Jack, which opened. Christoph's got percent of a rush, but not going to find any improvement on the turn. And he's at the 0% here. I think it makes sense for Marcos to mix and mix here for sure, and he does, because you don't want to up against the dominating ace. Maybe you can limit the damage, and you're not going to get paid by much.
Does he ever go for a small bet here? No, just has enough hand. He thinks that he could be winning. King Jack comes going to feel confident, but just also could maybe. Would Vogel saying check back some aces there too? I mean, would he do that or no?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's definitely you want to have them occasionally in your range. Vogel's going to have like the ace 4s, ace 6s, ace 7s. Those ones that make a lot of sense to check back. And here, I wonder if Vogel just goes for the check. Is the bad news, although not expecting to really win all that often with King Jack.
All right. Well, we got a brand new ball game. URJ, after getting a mildly crazy bluff through, looked like it could be his day. Got it and then good twice. dominating, loses both, and now he is your short stack 1.5 million as we have the giveaway queued. $50 or $100. Good luck. Hit that thumbs up. That is part of the giveaway. Tweet, pin Jeff Gross Poker, $50 there, 50 or 100 depending who wins. Let's see, who do you got? I have Vogel saying.
I think you everyone except Marcos who I have, so I'm not great.
Marcos versus the world. $100 for the audience, likely, not guaranteed, as we got like 14 of 17 million in play, about 3, 11, 12 million, 13.5, 50, about 16 in play. Yeah, you got like 1/5 of the chips or something, if I'm not mistaken, out of 16. So ace queen suit, another nice hand. Marcos keeping up. He is in Estonia, and just timing. Mendez just out of nowhere, going to put pressure on. I get it, putting on the tied for second, and this is just stepping right into it. And again, credit to him going for it, aggressive with the gapper here, but he is going to be timing off. And although ace queen suited, again, doesn't love it, but hey, too much hand, and there are scenarios where there's going to be a fold, and he does pick it up. So well done there, and going to narrow the gap. Short stack on his way in second all of a sudden, tied for second basically. Timing so big in poker. 12 seconds on that clock could be a factor, as we see. Likely going to run out of time before this is over, just because there's still 4 left, and he takes a bit of time, and even heads up could be a while. Vogel saying getting nice distribution here. 2 jacks, 4-handed. No opponents with a worthy hand though. Deuce 3 suited. Will call. Flops a pair, bottom pair. Nice looking flop for jacks.
Yeah, a bit of a loose defend here, but definitely a suited connector, even though it's the lowest one. Probably just goes. Vogel could consider going for a really thin value bet here. I've seen him value bet thinner. I know he likes to go for those, so we'll see. Would of course be very reasonable. He does go for value, which I think makes sense against a 10, a 5, maybe a 9 of spades.
I mean, yeah, there are, it's again 4-handed, wide ranges. Deuce 3, pair. Hard to make a pair and hold them, although this is at the very big hero cape section. Although, I mean, I guess he does call. Wow. I mean, yeah, I guess no spade. Yeah, queen, king, queen, jack. There are bluffs there, but that is for sure, man. The guy just got some chips, and he's just ready to call with the deuce, the bottom pair there. Like you mentioned, wide defend, could have got rid of that pre-flop.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
That's like it's like playing a low pocket pair. If I don't hit a set, I'm not going to play a big pot. Then insert bottom pair, call down, hero, and a big pot going away. Although still 3 million, still okay. Queen 10, jack 9. So queen 10, wide range, queen high, no pair made between the 4. Pretty good Omaha hand there. Wow, look at that Omaha pillow. That makes me want to play. That is as nice as it gets. No one even connected anywhere. Here we go. Low pair, short stack, likely surfing. Ace king would be calling. So here we go. Could be down to 3. Ace king behind slightly. It's basically a flip. Big moment for everyone involved, and there is the ace. Does it all come to an end for URJ, who really just, after a kamikaze bluff that got through, is now going to be out and forth. Pretty impressive stuff from him, though. He really did play, battled, and he got kind of a joyride, right? Like a extra free roll. Like he could have just got snapped off and been out and whenever that was. And instead he laddered some, had some fun, and actually got it in good in a few spots. So by his metrics, by his standard, made a bluff that worked, a pretty crazy bluff that worked out, and then got it in his money in good for a few critical spots that didn't work. And here we go, 10 Jack. It's going to kick it up in 9 seconds on that shot clock, 2 minutes. And this could be shot clocks in play everywhere here. Exciting finish coming down the stretch. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be choosing a winner in the giveaway. Got to hit the thumbs up. I see about 100 of you've done that so far. Appreciate that. The second part of that will be type in the keyword GGPoker space Jozoff space your GGPoker username. And of course, we will play to a winner today. 3 left. High IQ play by you to get to that.
Yeah, well, Jeff, I mean,
and do it from there. That would have been not fun to be stressed. You would actually probably made it. You would have been okay to lead, but that would not be fun to rushing around. It's way better. So you're there.
Right.
Yeah. Relax now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now thinking about URJ, I mean, he basically, like I said earlier, he didn't best hand post flop, like basically ever. He goes $1 million to $4 million in chips at one point or something close to that. And then all of a sudden he gets more chips, and then now he just loses 4 all in a row where he was dominating twice, and he's just out. So it's a pretty sick game here. But anyway, now with 3 left, we're going to see S-Man have a really good opportunity to put on an M clinic and really win this one super often. So I'm still saying here in this blind with blind situation.
Yeah, 9 million, very healthy, very healthy. I mean, I don't know. I guess Vogel saying with 3.7, the experience, the pedigree. I don't think Vogel saying's actually won the GGMillion. He's done so much live results, plays the highest buy-ins in the world, literally, 7-figure, the Triton Millions, all these tournaments. But he has 2 final tables, season 2023. Didn't play a ton in the past. So, I mean, again, hasn't played a lot. He's got let's see. It's actually interesting because it says he has 800,000 in GG winnings, but $1 million in GGMillion winnings. So I don't know how that's possible. I guess that was reversed maybe because but basically most of his winnings are from GGMillions. So see if he's got a limp here, or is he always raising? I mean, it's maybe this. We've seen some aggressive play from Mata. Maybe just like let him kind of get forced in the. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a button raise. Never mind. I thought it was blind on blind. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Picks it up. Second place for Vogel saying. King 9 suited. So again, just call. Deuce 8, King 9. Vogel saying overcard. Again, post flop, just so confident in his abilities, and he's got his opponent in a really good tricky spot. Although again, the 9, it's not like a full trap, right? There's gonna be scary boards. This is above average flop, but you're still in trouble to some hands or behind others or have to fade certain things. Although gonna be pretty happy with this flop, I think. To start, just calls. That is not a super welcoming card, although block King Queen do have a gut shot.
Yeah, and it has the extra equity of a gut shot. Obviously now S-Man's got the bad side of the open ender where the queen is no good, but then it is. But I think on this turn, when he does turn the equity, he's gonna he didn't barrel it, and now we'll see what happens here on the river.
Yeah, I mean, 8 deuce high just decides that this isn't the time. Going to try to protect that chip lead and not make it worse there, as Vogelsang will narrow the gap. Nicely played hand, 4.7, 9.2. Wide open for the title today. We'll have a new GGMillion champion. As I mentioned, 3 winners today were in the tournament. Artur with 7 titles. Alec Panakov's with, I believe, 2 or 3. 2, we'll say. And Roman had won once before. Panakov's actually, 2 titles. Season 2023 one and season 2020, or season 2, we'll call it, as Vogelsang looking to get on the board as well as these other players. And We are going to see a winner. 7-9 suited top pair. That feels good. Backdoors as well. Ace-8. This is definitely a good flop for the 7-9 suited with the situation. Got your opponent to basically appear 5 outs two times. And 0 on the shot clock for the Montenegro man. So he is officially on 5-second decisions. Ooh, the check raise with the weak top pair. This is Vogel saying a lot of draws here. Definitely out of all the hands. I mean, you got ace-8 top pair, middle kicker here. You're either kind of against, you know, a 9x or 2 pair. You block 2 pairs. It's like, wow, just finds it.
Finds it.
If you are 9-7 suited, you don't love this card, but at the same token, you get the check raise in. You had top pair. You know, there is the diamonds. There is the 10 jack. You don't have any of those cards in your hand. So, like, this is not like an immediate, you know, oh, I have to be beat. And Vogel saying, though, what a spot. He's got dead man's hand ace-8 and realizing that is a lightning in a bottle card, just seeing about sizing what he wants to do. There is a lot of draws. Stack the pot ratio is 1 for his opponent, less than 1. So I don't know. He's got a lot of options here. Important pot, big money between third and second. Critical pot, too, just in general. I mean, he knows he has the best hand.
He's still beating so much here. I mean, so many types of draws are going to continue. Feels very bad to sort of release here, but also everything's bad. I mean, continuing knowing you're going to have to make a decision on the river feels bad. We'll see. It's a good fold. I was going to say it's somewhat reasonable that Vogelsang can run into the ace there if he has like a lot of all the diamond combos. He can have the ace X or just the 2 pair ace with any of those pairs. So we'll see here. It's going to be a rejam for Marcos and should take it down.
A lot of notes today. This has been a pretty wild show. I gotta say, the stand-up, gonna have to clip that, use that. That was definitely, that was out there. That was out there. And it's fact that he's chip leader right now, though. He doesn't have to stew too long. I mean, we'd love to talk to this guy about this final table. He's like,
oh yeah. Yeah, we should have post-game interviews for the winner. That'd be cool. We call something, and that'd be cool. Something to think about.
Ooh, hello. Little cooler. And Marcos is going to be a very big favorite to be our third place contestant as 9s to 8s. Button, small blind, 3-handed, writing similar to on the wall, both with a minute on the shot clock. And 8s, though, you know, it's just a lot of hand, 3-handed. You're also against world-class player, and you're short, and 9's going to just get the lovely news. 4-1 favorite. Spade dominated. Going to need some diamonds, straights, or an 8 as 4.2 in the million, 92% favor. Not on the turn. It is a 8 or an 8 only. We're heads up, and it is a 10, and that is GG Vogelsang, who was chip leader by a wide margin, was in big trouble to be knocked out and got there, and now he is locked up $250,000 plus. We are playing for, what is that, 50, so we got 46, 70 G's. Yeah. Heads up match going for the money is fanned. Who do you got? Call it. It's tight. I mean, you got to go Vogelsang. I think the experience, never a doubt. And 3 seconds, he got 5 seconds extra. Oh, it's 5. I'm sorry, 0 on the clock, 5 second per decision. So this is also a bit of a handicap. Vogelsang only a minute though, not a ton of time either. This is a chess game here. If who's going to figure it out, I think if you're Matazev, just out of, I mean, it's not disrespectful. I just think Vogelsang going to have anyone pretty much outclassed heads up for the most part, especially an unknown. I think you want to push the variance a little bit, right? Maybe you can find a spot to get a flip or 60-40, 55-45. But, you know, again, he's played a great game. He's got heads up. He's got $250,000 coming his way. So congrats to either one of these players. And, of course, you got to kind of root for the underdog. Vogelsang is a regular at the highest stakes, and this guy here who is haven't seen him before. Good luck to both.
Yeah, I also think SMAT having 0 time bank is when your head's up. There's so many decisions to be made, so much to process all the time, and having 0 time bank can actually be a tangible disadvantage, I guess.
Yeah, so you see you get a little slight pause and then 5 seconds, but here he goes. Nice bet there with the 6-9, kind of like a perfect nothing, but something semi-bluff. And he does pick it up 9 to 7.5. And I think you have officially, you're out though. You owe a nice dinner. The audience is going to get $100. You got to hit the thumbs up. Type in the GGPoker space Jozoff space your GGPoker username. And we are going to choose a winner here very shortly, I should say, as we are going to play to a winner. And 7-4 has a club, open-ended, little semi-bluff potential. A 7 top pair, feeling pretty good though. Checks over. Vogel saying, yeah, 70 blinds effective. Is that right? That is definitely a bit of a not an ideal spot. Some thinking is needed in a lot of places.
So it's close to like 60 blinds deep, so we should still be seeing a lot of min-raising as opposed to limping at this stack depth heads up. Heads up is always interesting for me to watch because you don't get to play heads up too often in tournaments. Obviously if you play online, you do more often just because of the volume. But I think most people are a little bit understudied heads up compared to the rest of their games.
Yep, 7-8 suited, king 5 top pair. King 5 gonna feel decent. 7-8 suited, kind of easy board just to c-bet and don't really worry if much goes on there unless you turn spades. Kind of not gonna be that interested in this one, I would imagine, on the no equity turn. But hey, maybe there are some draws. Does check back, king 5. Just gonna feel good here. Not much going on. And winner up to 10 mil. So 10 mil, 10 to 6. Probably a decent handicap, right? I'd still say it's close to even money, probably. I mean, they're deep. They're fairly deep. Who would you bet right now? Even money. You got to bet. Make a bet.
Even money, I got to take SMAD. It's just stacks are just too much.
Yeah, but I mean, again, not look. He made a pretty wild fold with the aces, but obviously he knows what he's doing. Has some pedigree, got some results, and he's shown some good plays throughout as well. Some good bets and semi bluffs, and by no means is he like complete amateur. I mean, he just made an uncharacteristic fold, but those are
Here's
one of those
where
ones
he's
where
going to
you're like
maybe
a
end up.
genius. If that guy just shows like tens or kings, you're like, wow, he's the greatest ever. But when it's wrong, it's like it looks really bad. I mean, is it safe to say in that spot, like, let's say he was right? Like we can all agree if you're going to close your eyes, play that on that board, that situation, you're probably supposed to just put it in, right? Call or raise, almost always, like literally always. But I mean,
Literally
is there
always.
like where do you draw the line on that? Like because like is there some certain times where you just like even if it's right, it's wrong? You know what I mean? Like if you make a right fold, but you could get in a bad habit of folding too much.
Yeah.
Or, like you're just like, wow, that guy made a world class like exploitative laydown, but you're like, well, that's just bad.
Yeah.
Like
I think there's certainly merit to people making world class exploitative laydowns. Like that's definitely a real thing. But it's just like usually if somebody did that, you kind of would know at least because the other person would have a reputation or you could kind of see where they're coming from. In this particular case, like if you were going to exploit the other guy, you would exploit him the other way by calling more often and stuff like that, right? And stationing more. So in this case, one, it's like obviously you can't fold in theory at all, but especially against this guy, you can't fold even more. Like you really can't fold against this guy. So I think, if somebody makes a huge fold and it ends up being incorrect, but you know where they're coming from, the other guy's reputation, it makes a lot more sense. And then sure, I can get behind it and say, okay, whatever. Then you're walking the genius idiot line, fine. But in this spot, can't really get behind this one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a look at the total GGPoker earnings. So again, more active this year, season 2023, number 49 overall. Vogel saying not playing at all on the last iteration of the GG Millions. And there's a look at, again, GG Million ranking, not so impressive from S. Matazev, but also GG 4.4. So he does play. And actually, if you think about it, he's not playing the 10Ks, maybe usually plays smaller buy-ins. So he's got that's a lot of earnings if you're playing, 1Ks or 500s or so. So that's, yeah, definitely has played some poker. Jack 7, 8, 4, 8 with the diamond. Jack high in the lead. Some delayed c-bet opportunities potentially for Vogel saying with the 8 high. Doesn't even bet, and then the diamond comes in. Probably going to value bet this as he's got the ace and the 9 are out there. He has an 8, 4 diamonds. Maybe his opponent has a queen. Something that would call. I don't know. I mean, got to believe he's willing to bet something. Opponent just has nothing. Not even a pair. Nothing. Jack 7 off will fold. 7 off the computer hand. That means the dead middling hand. If you get dealt that hand, that is a dead on, spot on. You can assess that you are right in the middle of what is an even distribution of cards. A 6 ahead of distribution doesn't re-raise. Both players miss. So hard to make a pair. We say it a lot. It's true. Ace high in the lead. Queen 7 using that shot clock. He's saying deal.
Oh, he's saying deal.
No deal possible. I guess they would have to be if they had each other's contact, which is unlikely pairing that he would be able to negotiate. They'd have to do off-board something, and I don't think that's pretty sure you're not going to see Vogel saying responding just for various reasons, especially if you don't have a site facilitate the deal with the software and you don't know someone. That's a lot of things have to go right for a deal.
I love that though. The deal and then the no response and then just the 2x pot overbet on the turn. Like,
yeah,
funny.
Some gamesmanship going on.
Yeah,
it could be a troll, right? The guy could be a comedian. Like it could be funny because it's like, yeah, unless somehow they might know each other, they could know each other in real life, definitely.
it's possible, I guess.
Yeah, or mutual friends. Maybe someone reached out on his behalf that knows him, but yeah, either way, good luck to them. And I just want to point out that is, again, not an option. There is deal making on GG for various tournaments and situations, but that is one of the purest of tournaments in the GG Million live and online that, well, I should say online, there's no deal making. And that is partly with the rankings, which I know that kind of tied up for this season. And then next year we'll have that again. There'll be prizes and all kinds of extra things that come along with that. It's kind of cool to see where you stand, where your total entries are, your total results, the points. They do a really good job with that live and online for the ranking system.
Looks like there's the front turn. This is a pretty big heads-up cooler here.
Yeah, that's the
goes
one
for the check. About.
And nice, interesting check back. So a little deception, pot control, going to work out well for him here as, it's unlikely Vogel saying is going to put him on a jack. Now, I don't know how greedy he can get with the sizing. Maybe still greedy. He does go for it. He finds it. He realizes that it gets 7x or it looks like some missed draws, and he's got a super value hand and gets paid off. And there we go. Yeah. Back to about even. Now things are different. Now you got to put the bet in on Vogel saying they're pretty deep stack too. All right, deuces and jack three. Jack three with the pair up and a pretty innocuous looking board. The A7-3 rainbow, 6 of diamonds. So deuces, Vogel saying hangs on, likely won't hang on much more. I mean, if he's going to get more betting. And now though, it's kind of again weird one where it's like, all right, I have a pair, could be good. You need to turn your hand.
Heads up, you probably don't need to turn any. Nah, yeah.
Yeah, you can't bluff there.
It's also funny. Yeah, it's also funny when he asked for the deal that Vogel's saying. You can see he's got the helmet on, you know, so he can't even see it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 0 second. The shot clock under a minute for Vogel saying I don't know if we've ever seen the 0-0 matchup. I think we've seen it maybe once. There's the nuts on the turn. Very wet board. Definitely could go bigger bet here, right? Could get called by a variety of things. Man, Jozoff having none of it with the queen 3 off, no draw. And we are close to dead even. Ace jack, queen 9. Going for the min raise. Vogel saying we'll just call. Both players miss. Ace jack in the lead.
Queen nine gonna peel one here. Queen high could just be the best hand heads up, and have the backdoor straight possibilities. Now queen high definitely gonna be happy to show it down, go for a check. And now we have a clear value bet. Big one.
Ace jack. All right. I mean, fighting there still again, 9 to 7.5, slight lead, really close to call. And we are going to see a new champion on the GG Million. Queen 6 does hop ahead, pairs the 6, 4's check back. Going to feel even better now with 2 pair. Checks over 4's probably, you know, Vogel saying doesn't give much away. He just goes about his business, knows he's got a little bit of value, not worth betting, not worth getting bluffed. And now the queen 6, the jack does pair up. You know, could get paid here. 4's beats a 3. Likely doesn't have a jack, so he does get called. Nice bet. I mean, kind of mandatory bet, right? But gets paid.
Yep.
7 suited, premium, heads up button. And we are 2.5 hours in right now. 8-10 out flopping. That is an abysmal flop for A7 suited. 8-10 not in love, but has the pair gut shot. And A7 just going to check into a top pair. No player with the heart. Big bet.
Interesting, goes for the overbet here.
Yeah, I mean, Vogel's saying curious, right? He's got the bottom pair at the 10. Wow, calls. Whoa.
Wow.
I mean, if you call the turn and you just think they don't have like ace X, you block boat, you have block straight, you don't, I mean, no heart in your hand. I mean, he's very curious here. He's using some clock and he is looking super curious. Good fold. I mean, if you call turn, like call the turn, it's just sort of like you start thinking, would he bet a queen? Would he bet a jack? Does he have like, did he just, you know, it's interesting. Queen deuce, king deuce, and hello, little spice from Asmataziv.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Right? Like he played a certain hand a certain way, whatever. We've all had weird hands in our lives, but he knows what he's doing. You know, he's here for a reason.
Ooh, ace six tens. This could get problematic for Mendezev. It's a lot of hand for heads up, and Vogel saying with the tier one for heads up, I should say, not tier one normally, but ace six suited. I mean, you know, like we were saying, try to find some spots to gamble. I guess you've got the chip lead though, and hello, what a board. We could. I should call the winner here in a second anyway, because we are heads up and it could be over. And I don't like to do the winner after. I'm going to pick the winner in a second. Last chance to hit that thumbs up and give. I'm not saying this is the last hand. This may even just get the showdown, or actually, I guess at this board, you might. This would be a spot, right, where you'd want to put pressure on and try to get like a 12 outer, you know, against Queen X, or just take it.
Well, I mean, if you,
yeah, bang.
I was gonna say if he decides to half play diamonds there, you can't fold tens. So this diamond might slow things down here and actually love what we're saying to not get stacked. Oh wow, that's it.
Wow. I mean, boys, girls, I just announced the winner. This feels, I mean, heads up, set of tens. I guess a possible straight, but it was a 3-bet pre. I mean, man, I don't know. Like, I don't see how you can't. I mean, you just can't knock. Oh, snap call. GG. S Mad, who made maybe the fold of the. And when I say it like that, it's like you got it right. He made a crazy fold that was incorrect. He then just goes on a heater, plays great, wins it from Montenegro. S. Madanzev is going to be your champion. What a match! What a game! I mean, Michael, this was a special final table. Really, you know, hats off to this player from Montenegro, getting 325,000 his way. Maybe satellite in, had never played a GGMillion before, and now he is a champion, joining the likes of Artur Mortarizian, Panikov, and Roman, who were the three today that joined us as champions. He leaves as one. Thoughts on today? Give me your overall takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, that was a super entertaining one. I think a lot of clips could come out of this stream, a lot of fun moments, you know, Jeff getting out of the chair, a couple of cool phrases, but thought it was really fun. Definitely saw wild hands, saw some really nice stylistic deviations on both sides, big folds, some huge bluffs. So I think this FT had everything in store, big names. So yeah, had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, it was great. I appreciate it. Again, 4th time guest. I think that's a record, at least for sure, for season 2023. I have a couple of repeat guests. So again, Michael Jozoff, give him a follow, take a look at him across socials, and we will keep an eye on you playing the highest stakes. And again, you mentioned Panikovs, who is a absolute crusher, is your coach. So I know you know what you're talking about. We appreciate the analysis. It's definitely an insightful final table. As you said, a lot of clips, a lot of takeaways, a lot of fun, and always nice to see an unknown get a big win. And that was very interesting today. So thank you for the time. Safe travels. Enjoy Paris, and we will see you again very sure, I'm sure, as a guest or a player. You never know. It's nice. You got the hybrid. You could do either at any time. We'll keep an eye out for you. Appreciate the time. And again, guys, give him a follow, and we thank you so much. We'll see you on the next GGMillion Tuesday, 1:45 Eastern. Big names, big guests, big prizes. See you there.